Have broken away from the team huddles. The referee is Don Robertson. This is Rangers against Celtic. Thank you for joining us. 5 Live and BBC Sounds this afternoon. Rangers off the back of the 5-1 defeat in the Netherlands against PSV Eindhoven. They've dropped into the Europa League group stages. Celtic will be playing Champions League football this season. They are the champions, but they come here on the back of a 0-0 draw against St Johnstone last week. Before that, a 1-0 defeat away to Kilmarnock in the League Cup. The last time Celtic failed to score in 3 successive games in the same season, you have to go all the way back to 2007, 16 years ago. So Celtic fans cannot countenance that at Ibrox this afternoon. We're underway. Jack Butland playing in his first ever Old Firm derby, and all of a sudden Cyril Dessers is in, plays the ball across, and Rangers are in front. 39 seconds on the clock, the offside flag is up, it doesn't count, the enormous roar suddenly dips, but Rangers got in so easily down the right hand side. Pat Nevin.
Well, we're talking right at the start there, but the two centre backs of Celtic, they don't not play together much. It did look, we're dead on line with it, aren't we? And it really looked offside the first time we seen it, but the referee will wait. The place goes slightly quieter. I think they're going to be disappointed. That looked well offside to me.
1 minute played, and there's the first big moment of the game. Rangers goal stuck in by Rabbi Matondo, the Welsh international, starting wide left in what looks like a 4-3-3 for Rangers, ruled out for offside. Celtic playing out from the back, under a little bit of pressure from the Rangers press and from the thousands of screaming and bawling Rangers fans. Callum McGregor, been here so many times before. The Celtic captain making a 35th appearance in an Old Firm derby. Takes control and Celtic start to play out down the left. Greg Taylor though, poor touch from him, and the ball goes out for a throw into Rangers on the right.
You know, you don't get the goal there, and the Rangers fans will celebrate, and you think it might be a bit of a downer. Exactly the opposite effect. They're thinking, yeah, that was half a chance, and they look a little bit shaky at the back, that Celtic defence, and it has lifted them even further.
Unbelievable noise inside Ibrox. I hope it's coming through loud and clear, and Rangers putting pressure on Celtic again. Kemar Roofe brought into this Rangers team for this one today, trying to close the ball down. Joe Hart takes a touch inside his 6-yard box, another touch running across his own goal line, whips the clearance forward. Abada just tries to roll it into the path of Matt O'Reilly. That goes astray, and Rangers have a chance with John Souttar to play back to their goalkeeper, Butland, who started pretty well so far in his Rangers career. All in yellow this afternoon, clears long with his right foot. The young Republic of Ireland defender Liam Scales, 3rd season at Celtic. He was on loan to Aberdeen last season. Plays across to the other centre-back, signed in the summer from Swedish football, Gustav Lagerbielke, wearing the number 4. Celtic in the green and white hoops, defending the goal away to our left. White shorts and white socks, and Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. Defending done by Souttar. Clearance down the left-hand side. Matondo has almost lost it to Alistair Johnston, and now it's Ryan Jack just outside his own penalty area, closed down quickly, plays back to Souttar. Souttar side puts a pass into his own area. Rangers happy to clear from there, high down the middle of the field, and that is covered by Scales. Lets it bounce twice and side puts it back to Hart. Hart just hits a short pass out to Lagerbielke. Here's Callum McGregor in central midfield for Celtic, across to Taylor, quickly on wide left. This is going to be an important battle this afternoon. The Japanese international, Daizen Maeda, up against James Tavernier. Tavernier in with the tackle. Maeda wants a free kick. Maybe he wanted a corner. It's been given as a goal kick. Pat Nevin.
I think he moved his body towards Tavernier in that situation there, and that's how the referee's seen it, so he's given a goal kick. Really good to see, even though the pace of the game is really high and it is quite frenetic. Both teams trying to play out for the back, trying to play a little bit of football, but also both oppositions are trying to close them high up the pitch. We're going to see some mistakes, aren't we?
We are. Connor Goldson clears to the halfway line. Stooping header from Scales. Another ball chased by Dessers down the right. Might have been offside.
I think he was on. Yeah, I think he was. Again, same position there. The Rangers have been working on that.
Cyril Dessers, one of the summer signings for Rangers, the Nigerian who's joined from Cremonese. Starting wide right. Kemar Roofe up there as well, and Rabbi Matondo on the left-hand side, and Celtic looking a little open down that right. Greg Taylor at left back for them. I'll run you through the full team lineups in just a second. Johnston, the Canadian international, at right back, making a second start of the season, having come into this season with an ankle injury. Long diagonal ball is nodded down on the edge of the Rangers box, and Goldson hurriedly clears on the half volley. Scales plays a 1-2 with Taylor. This is just inside the Rangers half. McGregor strokes it forward. The layoff to Taylor, wide on the left-hand side. Pass bobbles through to Maida. Ball is played back to the edge of the penalty area. Celtic recycle possession. There's McGregor again. Low pass to Taylor. Back to Scales. Through the midfield it comes to McGregor. McGregor slides it to his right. Here's O'Reilly in the pink boots. Plays it wide. Cross comes in from Abada to the near post. Kyogo sticks out a boot and it's headed behind by John Souttar, although Kyogo got the last touch, so that would be another goal kick to Rangers.
So it's the first time we've seen Abada have a chance to go at Dujon Sterling there. Sterling come on during the PSV game, and I didn't think he covered himself in glory in that game. No Jota, of course, here now, so Abada's getting a little bit of a run, and his first time he got a chance to run, he gets his cross in rather easily from Bailey.
So Rangers will try and play out, as Pat was just describing. Sterling up towards Matondo. Matondo is challenged. Celtic win the ball back. Sterling is high up, wrestling away with Abada to try and take possession back for Rangers. Rangers have Jack Butland in goal. Tavernier, Goldson, Souttar and Dujon Sterling at left back. Nicholas Raskin, the Belgian, alongside Ryan Jack in central midfield. Not seen much of Todd Cantwell as yet. He's playing off Kemar Roof. Dessers on the right. Rabbi Matondo on the left, and Celtic have Joe Hart in goal, Alistair Johnston, Lager Bielka and Scales, the two centre-backs, Greg Taylor at left-back, Matt O'Reilly, Callum McGregor and David Turnbull as their midfield three, Maida wide on the left, Abada the Israeli on the right, and Kyogo, who scored 5 goals in 5 appearances against Michael Beale's Rangers, trying to close a back pass down here, and Butland's there in time for Rangers and knocks it high down the middle of the pitch. Good header won by Dessers. Roof gets to the next ball. Cantwell lobs it forward, bounces in front of Dessers, tries to hold off Scales and turn him inside the penalty area. Scales gets in a muddle. Cross comes in. That is blocked by Scales. Calmness personified from Callum McGregor, dribbling out of his own penalty area. Space opening up, and up it goes towards Kyogo. Offside flag goes up. Play allowed to continue. Roof couldn't control it, and Joe Hart catches it on the bounce. Lively start. 7 minutes in. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
It is lively, okay. I mean, one moment there you think Celtic are away, then suddenly one ball, and they're just going through the middle, right through the middle of Celtic defence. They're asking lots of questions of Liam Scales. In actual fact, most of the time Scales would look quite calm and composed, all things considered.
Yeah.
And there's quite a lot to consider.
Liam Scales, 25 years old, as I said, 3rd season at the club. Joined from Shamrock Rovers on loan at Aberdeen last season alongside Gustaf Lagerbielke, the 23-year-old Swede. When last season, of course, that was a rock-solid pairing of Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's currently out injured, the American, and Carl Starfelt, who, like Jota, has left the club this summer. Throw in for Rangers. It's going to be taken right in front of the besooted Brendan Rodgers. Dujon Sterling lobs it short, gets the ball back, and then nudged to the floor by Liel Abada. Rangers get the free kick. Sterling picks himself up, curls it quickly down the line. Matondo chases, tries to keep the ball in play. Oh, he's done well, I think. Won a corner in front of the Broomlow. No, the ball didn't cross the line, and Johnston is there, makes the tackle, clears with his right foot, and Tavernier intercepts for Rangers. Plays back to Souttar, whose left wrist is strapped, playing in the short sleeve blue Rangers shirt. There's Raskin. Raskin's first time pass is applauded, makes its way back to Goldson. Rangers fans getting excited as another move builds down the right. Tavernier's pass, well read by Scales, steps in and intercepts, and that's a throw in for Rangers on the right. 8.5 minutes played. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, Motherwell, 2 games. Kick off at 3 o'clock in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. If Celtic don't win this game here, Motherwell could go top of the table with a win at Hearts today. That's even if Rangers win this one. Table at the moment has St Mirren on top on 8 points, Celtic on 7, Motherwell on 7, and Rangers on 6, as Butland clears with his right foot. High spinning ball down the inside right channel. Scales involved again, nods it down. Cantwell is there. Cantwell just inside his own half. No real pressure on him, so has time to pick a pass. Rolls it to his left in the midfield. Raskin quickly onto Jack. Brendan Rodgers is pointing. He wants his defence to shuffle across. 1-2 played on the left. Then a dancing move from Sterling. Sterling up to the edge of the area. Roof lets it go under his feet. Tries to get the shot away. A few Celtic bodies around on the edge of the box and eventually thumped away by Lager Bielka.
It's incredibly frantic, isn't it? The pace of this game is astonishing. And it generally always happens in Old Firm games. You get used to it, but it's not poor play, and it's the fact that both teams are actually trying to pressure each other. In times gone past, people will say, who's going to get the ball down and play it? Well, have a look at the top teams at the moment. They're all doing these high presses exactly like this. It's whether they can keep it going, that's the question.
Tavernier, long diagonal ball from the back. Alistair Johnston let it go over his head, and he now wants it to run out for a goal kick. Matondo's behind him, just a little exuberant in the challenge. Wanted to put the pressure on, nudges him, and Johnston was waiting for the contact, wins the free kick, takes it quickly. Lager Bielka's ball puts Scales under pressure, did really well. Touch with the right foot, then plays it away with his left, and now Callum McGregor is able to stride forward in that Celtic midfield. Greg Taylor tucking in on the left, passes the ball straight out of play, possibly a little bit rattled throw into Rangers.
And one of the good things for Rangers just now is 10 minutes into the game, Scotland's best player for last season. Have you mentioned his name yet? Furuhashi. I don't think he's touched the ball.
No, you're right. Trying to get on the end of that one cross into the near post, but that's been about it so far. All Rangers at the moment. Matondo has support from Sterling, couldn't find him. Johnston to McGregor as Celtic turn and start to play out of their own half. Greg Taylor speeds forward. Little figure wearing the number 3 for Celtic. Low skidding pass to Maida. Beat Tavernier, then slides in, tackles Cantwell because the ball got away from him, fouls Cantwell, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers. 11 minutes played, it's goalless. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Well, I'd like to say well done Cantwell. He could have rolled about there, made a lot out of that. He was really up to high dough during the week. He was chasing, tackling, biting, everything. He wanted to get through to the Champions League. But there he could have made a meal of that. He didn't make a meal of that. He just got on with it. Well done. And making the referee's job, I was going to say easier, shall we say less hard.
Butland thumping clearance with his right foot, drops on the edge of the Celtic area. Scales in position again to win the header. Rangers have kept that in play. Here's Cantwell wide on the right, flicks a little ball back to Raskin. Raskin looks back to his right. There's Cantwell again, who's deep in this Rangers attack, and Celtic have everyone behind the ball bar Kyogo in his lime green boots. Goes chasing now. John Souttar has it for Rangers just inside his own half. Back to Goldson. Cantwell very deep in the right back position. Goldson goes with the high diagonal. He's overhit it. Tavernier making the move down the right. You'll see that so often for Rangers, but it's gone beyond him and out for a throw into Celtic.
Well, Rangers do try that long ball between the left centre back and the left full back. But also very noticeable that Dujon Sterling, who's here at in the left back area, he's not been chased back by Abada, so there's a bit of space that he's developing there. Rangers haven't been able to find him yet, but there is a gap there because Matondo's gone inside.
Ryan Jack just side foots a pass, stabs it back into his own half. Souttar's there, Souttar across to Sterling. Sterling wide on the left. Abada chases him back into his own half, plays it to Souttar. Souttar back to Butland. Hulking great figure in bright yellow is Butland away to our right. Again, launches one long downfield. Johnston leaps above Matondo, gets enough on the header, and Joe Hart is there sliding on the ground to his right to collect it for Celtic. Picks himself up immediately and bowls it underarm to Liam Scales. Scales, slow pass to his right to Lager Bielka. Celtic just trying to settle into the game here. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Lager Bielka on the ball, stops for a second in the middle of his own half, and then pass up the middle to Kyogo. Kyogo was clipped as he played the ball back to McGregor. Play continues. Taylor wide to his left. Someone's got to get in the middle for Celtic. Maida on the left-hand side. Takes on Tavernier into the box. Leaves the ball behind him. Cantwell's back there again doing the defensive work and clears with his right foot.
I tell you, had Maeda gone down there, that would have been very, very interesting, because it looked to me as if there was a slight touch there, but he stayed on his feet.
Rangers win a throw, take it quickly. Scales was out of position. He felt Celtic were going to get the throw, reacted quickly, leaps in and clears on the left foot volley. And actually the referee's going to bring the play all the way back to where the ball initially went out of play. So we'll start again with a Rangers throw. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Yeah, Kyogo got his first touch a moment ago there, and he was clattered just as he got it. That's what he expected, let's be fair.
Ball forward by Souttar, goes out of play, throwing for Celtic in the right back position. Kyogo, 34 goals last season, 27 of them in the Premier League. Star striker for Celtic, but hasn't had a sniff as yet today.
Well, he needs a little bit of... he needs Maeda to get the ball on the left-hand side, or Abada to get it on the right-hand side, to give him something to go and chase.
Celtic trying to play out a very tight spot in the right back position. Abada challenges Sterling. Rangers feel that should have been a foul. It's given as a throw into Celtic. Last touch came off Sterling. O'Reilly thought he was tugged back inside his own half, just runs the ball out of play, and that'll be a throw in to Rangers. Ryan Jack takes it, throws it back here to Raskin, who chests it down and strokes a pass back to Goldson inside the Rangers half. Goldson, Turnbull closing in, plays the ball to his left to Suter. Suter back to Goldson, slightly loose touch. Turnbull was interested. Cantwell's there to help out. Cantwell's given the ball away, takes a deflection, and through it comes to Scales.
Well, if anyone would have seen the own goal scored by Goldson during the week there, that was another touch that was very, very uncomfortable.
Here's McGregor, Celtic skipper, back to Scales, and across to the other centre-back, Lagerbielke. Johnston, nice football from Celtic. McGregor in a nice pocket of space here, bringing the ball up to the halfway line, looking for a runner. Tries to thread that pass in behind. Abada at pace, away from Sterling. Cross in. Oh, Kyogo steps over it. The ball's loose for a second, and then it's cleared away by Suter. Not quite sure why Kyogo didn't hit it.
I think he might have tried to. I know what you mean. It looks as if he's dummied it. Maeda's coming in behind him, and his countryman he thought might have tapped it in there, but that's not what Kyogo does. He's at a near post there, brilliant ball in. Dujon and Sterling find themselves in absolute no man's land after a great ball by McGregor, but that's the best chance of the game by miles so far, and Kyogo couldn't take it.
Celtic on the ball inside their own half. 16 minutes played in the first half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. This one is hotting up very nicely on a gloriously sunny day in Glasgow. Celtic come again with Turnbull. Turnbull wide to Taylor, back to Turnbull. First time ball, and that goes through into the Rangers penalty area and is picked up very easily by Butland. Our replay monitor, Pat, is a couple of minutes behind here. So now we're going to see what happened with that Celtic chance.
Oh, it's really difficult to see. I mean, it's slightly behind Kyogo, but he's such a good technical player. Normally he could still hook that into the net there. I'm stunned and amazed, and any Celtic fans watching or listening, you should be stunned and amazed too, because that's not what Kyogo does.
Rangers again trying to play out from the back. Goldson under pressure, scuffs a clearance slightly. Celtic have enough bodies in the way to make an interception, but the ball may have gone out for a throw, and as it went down the touchline of a Celtic boot, so that'll be a Rangers throw on the right. 17 minutes played, 0-0.
Well, we'll come back to that chance there for Kyogo. The only reason why I say he must have tried to put it in as opposed to dummy it, because you wouldn't. You just wouldn't. You're right at the near post there. There's a great opportunity there. He is particularly good at that skill, Kyogo, but he didn't seem to have a go at it. Very strange. I think he just mistimed it.
Here's Johnston, Celtic's right back, puts his foot on the ball, slows it down. Scales, very measured pass from him across to Taylor on the left, right on the halfway line. Played back to Scales again. Rangers stand off. Celtic able to bring the ball forward quite easily. Lagerbielke makes ground into the Rangers half. Little scoop pass goes awry, headed away. Matondo's first time ball over the top. Dessa's in plenty of space. Flag stays down. Joe Hart outside his area, heads it away to his left. Taylor might be able to keep that in for Celtic. He can.
There's a gap, isn't there? Certainly Roof and certainly Dessers as well. They've got the pace of this Celtic backline, and every time that they squeeze up, the ball's just lobbed over the top and they find themselves in miles of space. That time Joe Hart saved Celtic.
Pat Nevin with us inside this crackling atmosphere at Ibrox.
By the way, just in a replay there, Kyogo did try to score there.
Right.
He tried a little back heel, a little cute one, wasn't cute enough.
Rangers fans applaud again. Their teams want to throw. Cantwell frustrated, wanted an option quicker there. Raskin comes jogging towards him. They can't go quickly, and Cantwell hands the ball over to Tavernier and says, tell you what, I'll take it instead. So Tavernier throws it to Cantwell, lays it back to Tavernier. Lofted ball in towards Dessers, cleared by Celtic, and then Tavernier can't control it wide on the right, and it goes out for a throw-in. Rangers manager Michael Beale, hands in pockets in his smart dark suit, down below us. 43 tomorrow. So Michael Beale celebrates that birthday tomorrow. As assistant to Stephen Gerrard, had a winning record in the derbies. 1-8 drawn, 1 lost, 4 won 6 of their last 7 against Celtic, including the one here against Brendan Rodgers' Celtic back in December 2018 when Ryan Jack scored the goal in the 1-0 win. Joe Hart bowls it out to McGregor. McGregor gets Celtic on the move. Here's O'Reilly, one of the players who has started well this season for Celtic, playing on the right side of the midfield 3. Back it comes into the Celtic half. Here's Scales. Scales to McGregor. McGregor on to Johnston. Johnston down the right to Abada, who comes towards him to receive it, wants to take Sterling on. Sterling strong, gets in the way, Abada fouls him, and that'll be a free kick to Rangers.
That'll give Dujon Sterling a lift. The two occasions previously, Abada's gotten 1-on-1. Nearer the byline, it has to be said. He's gotten very dangerous crosses. This time, Dujon Sterling far stronger than Abada, who wants to get the ball further up the field.
Butland chased by Kyogo, slides a nice pass out to Tavernier. Maida straight onto Tavernier there. Under pressure Tavernier, but keeps it for Rangers. Cross it comes to Suter. Good game this one so far, still 0-0. And here's Sterling looking to get forward down the left for Rangers. So he's in for the injured Borna Barisic. Hamstring problem that he picked up in the 5-1 defeat away to PSV in midweek. Cantwell wide to Tavernier. Tavernier a few to aim at in the middle. Cross comes bouncing in, Scales clears, headed infield by Maida, slightly miscontrolled by Turnbull. McGregor stretches, runs into Jack, and the ball falls nicely to Kemar Roof. Roof back to Jack, and Jack goes scurrying away to his right. Tavernier making a good supporting run. On the ball, cross in! Oh, stretching effort in the middle. Couldn't be converted. Dessers at full stretch, looking to put Rangers in front, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
And I'd say that's probably Rangers' best chance as well there. I mean, really good ball in there. And you know when Tavernier gets wide from the right back position, he is A, capable of scoring, but B, capable of putting great balls in that time right across the 6-yard line. Dessers is stretching as much as he possibly could. It's not a chance because he's never quite going to reach it, but it's very, very good playing that right hand side.
Got a couple of goals for Rangers already, has Dessers, but yet to score in the Premiership. Starting against Celtic would be very nice indeed. Plenty of attacking players signed by Michael Beale this summer, and he's still trying to get that right blend. The likes of Sam Lammers on the bench, Abdallah Sima, who's come on loan from Brighton this season, the Brazilian Danilo, the most expensive signing, who's joined from Feyenoord. Johnston under pressure for Celtic, has to turn. Play back to Joe Hart, all in green. Hart, short ball to McGregor. McGregor to Lagerbielke. Lagerbielke finds a nice pass forward to Turnbull. Turnbull on to Taylor. Celtic now across the halfway line. Taylor down the left to Maida, already moving at speed and cutting in field. Taylor on the outside. Cantwell again gets back for Rangers and makes an important interception.
Oh, brilliant by Todd Cantwell there. I mean, many wide players would just leave the runner there. He kept on going. He had to be fast because they were through on goal there. Maeda played it intelligently. There's a lot of good thinking, a lot of good hard working in both midfields there.
Midway through the first half, Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Liverpool Villa, full commentary on that. 2 o'clock this afternoon on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ian Dennis and Leon Osman with that one. Arsenal Manchester United, a Premier League classic at 4:30 with John Murray and Matt Upson. Overhit pass from the Rangers midfield. Roof will chase. Hart's outside his penalty area. So much time to pick the pass with his left foot, and Taylor very easily chests this down and runs up towards the halfway line. Taylor plays to his left. There's Turnbull. Turnbull back to Lagerbielke, straight down the middle. Kyogo looking for the flick. The runner would have been O'Reilly. It was nowhere near him with the flick, and Butland's able to clear for Rangers. Gets underneath that one a bit. Scales comes running forward to win the header. Maida turns it round the corner, chased by Abada, chased by Turnbull as well. Goldson is there, thumps it clear with his right foot into the Celtic half.
One of the problems that Celtic have got just now are the 3 players that are struggling to get into the game. Turnbull's not really get much of the ball. He's one of those players that arrives in the box really well, but he just hasn't been able to get involved in the game. Similarly, Riley as well. He is a special player for Celtic last season there. But at the moment, very little space in that midfield, and they can't dominate the game. And Rangers aren't dominating the game either, but none of them can get their foot in the ball.
Very even contest so far. Taylor's ball to Maida goes straight past him and out for a throw-in to Rangers in their right back position. Take a breath, everyone. I have to say, Pat, my ears are absolutely ringing.
It generally doesn't stop. Well, I was going to say it doesn't stop. It will stop if Celtic score a goal. But
that's true. Throw in for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers, arms crossed at the moment. Celtic having failed to score in their last couple of games. Previously as Celtic manager, 13 Old Firm games, won 10 of them and only lost the one. Was in charge for a thumping 5-1 win here at Ibrox back in 2017. Celtic given the ball away. O'Reilly intercepts on the halfway line, and it goes out for a Rangers throw, which Jack takes. Suter's there in support inside his own half, wide on the left, away from Kyogo, sees a gap, has been tackled fairly, and Celtic turn it into a counter. Kyogo's in one-on-one. Kyogo hits the shot, it's blocked and cleared. Deflection on the shot, it looked like it was heading for the bottom corner, and Tavernier is there just in time to clear away, but the danger's not away fully yet. Abada's cross in, and that one, lunging challenge from Goldson this time, gets a foot on the ball, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, usually Kyogo scores that. It was an acute angle. I have a suspicion it's the keeper. I think he's made himself big enough, and I think maybe just hits off his feet instead of going through his legs there, and that's what stopped Kyogo. But the game is livening up now. The chances are beginning to come.
What a chance that was for Kyogo. Celtic immediately on the front foot again. Greg Taylor. Down the left he comes, up level with the edge of the box. Cross takes a deflection, behind it goes. No, Butland comes sprinting across the byline. Assistant referee in front of thousands of Rangers fans has his flag up in the air.
It's got to be a corner then, surely.
Got to be a corner, and eventually, yes, points to the corner flag. So corner for Celtic.
I just missed there was a replay.
We'll get it again, Pat. We'll get it again.
But again, Kyogo getting himself into a good position. He never stops. That's the thing about Kyogo. He has hardly had a kick of the ball beforehand, but that happens often with him. He will not stop running. It's 100% running 100% of the time.
Rangers thought there was possibly a foul on Suter in the build-up.
I don't think there was.
No,
I think he stood in the ball.
Yeah. Took a risk, tried to get away from a couple of Celtic players, and it very nearly cost the home team. It's still 0-0. McGregor plays to Taylor. Supporting run on the outside. I think that's from Abada. Cantwell gets his body in the way, shepherds the ball behind. Goal kick for Rangers.
Yeah, one of the things about Cantwell is he's a good player, great player going forward. And he's creative, he's got great energy. He's having to spend a little bit too much time further back. Sometimes he plays almost as a 10 for Rangers and gets further forward. Today it's been very difficult for him to get that far forward, and although he's working hard and playing well.
Right, Pat, you keep an eye on the monitor, I'll keep an eye on what Rangers are doing. Butland clears with his right foot. Pat's having another look at the Kyogo chance. Was it Butland who got the important
again
ball?
It was very difficult to see because the defender was on the line there, so both of them I think possibly get in the way. Made himself very, very big, Butland.
He paused, Kyogo steadied himself, took his time, picked his spot, but Rangers did just enough to keep him out.
That's a blast back.
Blimey, absolute thunderbolt back to Butland. Good first touch, and then immediately clears, and the ball's loose on the halfway line, and it will eventually come to Matondo. Sterling goes racing past him. Matondo plays the ball into the middle of the park. Here's Raskin just inside his own half. Rangers fans screaming for him to loft it to the right to Tavernier. He's done that. Tavernier tries to flick one in field to Roof. Mader's back there will do such an important defensive job on that left-hand side for Celtic, who can bring it away now. O'Reilly to McGregor. McGregor to his left to Taylor. 27.5 minutes gone at Ibrox. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
You know, one of the great battles out there just now is Maeda playing against Tavernier, because Tavernier, when he goes forward, he's as good as any forward that Rangers have got. He scores goals and 8 goals.
Oh, now then, Lagerbielke's lost it. Taken off him by Dessers. Dessers cuts it across. Chance for Roof, who scores for Rangers. Gives them the lead in the derby. Lagerbielke lost it 25 yards from goal. Dessers showed real composure to find Kemar Roof. And have a listen to what that goal means inside Ibrox. Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Oh, look at Bielka, he's complaining. He thinks he was fouled there. Well, the referee will have a look at it, there's no doubt about that. But to me, he just doesn't look strong enough. It had to be something major that's going to stop him there, but he was dawdling slightly in the ball. That's what the players are asked to do. They're asked to play out from the back. But you've got to get it right. You've got to be caught. You can't be caught on the ball there because there's no one behind helping you. He has taken a little bit too much time on the ball, but well done Rangers, who are closing it in. They close it down, constantly closing it down. Nah, I don't see a foul there. I really don't see a foul there. That's harsh. If Rangers don't get a goal here, they'll be furious.
Gamesmanship from Celtic. Joe Hart has placed the ball down outside his box as if he's going to take a free kick. As in, referee, you've got to get this right. Don Robertson's not going to be swayed. He is being spoken to by the video assistant referee. And this is a big, big moment in the derby.
You would expect him to go over and have a look at it. You've got to go over and have a look at the monitor.
Don Robertson, the referee's taking his time, keeping the players away from him. He is being sent to the monitor. There is a chance this goal could be ruled out for the challenge on Lagerbielke. Pat, to the naked eye in the first replay, it didn't look like there was enough in the challenge.
Yeah, let's be honest, but we've now seen the good replays.
Really?
There's contact, but he's getting the ball. I think that you could argue that Lagerbielke has actually put his body in the way to take a hit, when in actual fact he just goes for the ball there and gets the ball.
Don Robertson right beneath us, the referee. I can see he's in constant conversation with the video assistant referee. Here he comes out onto the pitch, reverses the decision. The goal will not stand. Free kick for... Oh no, hang on. No, free kick. No, the Rangers fans have got it wrong. He's changed the decision. Foul on Lagerbielke. Joe Hart wants to get the game back underway, thumps the ball downfield. The Rangers fans thought that Robertson was pointing to the centre circle to restart the game for the goal, but it remains 0-0.
You know, if there's contact there, he's gone over, he's had a look at it. That's what we want VAR to do. It seems pretty hard. Normally, if that play goes on normally, you won't bring that back for anything, unless there's a goal scored. There's not a Rangers fan in here. There's not a Rangers fan watching who will think that's a free kick. There's not a single one.
Kyogo's chance a few minutes before that, very similar. Centre-back caught, thought he was fouled. There didn't seem to be much in it. There didn't seem to be too much in that. I think Celtic might have got a bit lucky there, Pat.
I think the one before it, there was no foul. I think it was quite simply, it was Suter fell over the ball. He tripped on the ball, full stop. Whereas this time, it was a coming together attack. That will be a discussion point tonight. There is no doubt about that.
You always get them after the Old Firm games. Chris Sutton, Robbie Savage on 6:06 this evening. That will follow Arsenal against Manchester United from about 6:30 through until 8 o'clock. Now, Chris is actually here this afternoon. Saw him in the press room ahead of the game, so he will have had a close-up view on that. He'll have a strong opinion on it as well, I'm sure.
Who do you think he'll be backing in that one?
I wonder, Pat. I wonder. 6:06 tonight. That comes after our next two commentaries, Liverpool, Villa, Arsenal, Manchester United, here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. So it remains 0-0. Rangers feeling very aggrieved. Here's Johnston for Celtic, down the right to Abada. Abada through the legs of Sterling. Finds Johnston, was given a slight nudge, stumbles towards the byline and decides not to cross the ball and wins the corner for Celtic.
We will go back time and time again to that possible free kick there. But it's one of those ones where a defender's under a little bit of pressure, taking a bad touch. He's then put his body in the way. So you could argue he threw his legs in the way of the tackle.
Which we often sort of criticise strikers for if they're trying to win a penalty by initiating the contact. Abada's cross in from the right is too close to Butland. Easy claim for the goalkeeper. There was a chance to put a decent ball in there, and Abada didn't manage it. Ryan Jack, chased by Kyogo, in the right back position, plays back to Goldson. Maida comes speeding towards him. Goldson plays it to Suter. Suter down the middle of the park to Tavernier in a central midfield role. Lays the ball off to his right. High diagonal towards the edge of the Celtic box, and that one also too close to the goalkeeper. Joe Hart just lobs it over the head of Matondo and gets Alistair Johnston away down the right. So 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
There is one other question you've got to ask. Obviously, Rangers had, travelling over to Eindhoven during the week. They put a lot of energy into that game, chasing PSV, it has to be said, for long periods of the game. Will they tire?
Played 8 games already this season, Rangers, Pat, and Celtic have played 4.
Yep.
Scales heads the ball to his left. Halfway line here. Greg Taylor has it for Celtic. Sees an opportunity to curl one towards Maida, easily intercepted by Tavernier. Oh, long ball over the top. Might play in. Dessers stretches. Joe Hart is there. If Dessers had got his toe on the ball to knock it past Hart, he'd have been round him and clean through on goal. Yeah,
and Joe Hart has to time that perfectly. That's a couple of times he's come out and timed it perfectly. People ask questions about Joe Hart, with on the ball and about his timing. He's reading it again. He's got them all right today. Absolutely spot on. However, Celtic back line, they're not quick enough against Roof. Nowhere near it.
3 or 4 times, Pat, in the first half, isn't it?
And it's only a matter of time that they're going to get through Rangers if Celtic keep on playing that high line. But that's the way Brendan wants them to play. And if you're Roof or Dessers at the moment, you're thinking, come on, bring it on, just lump it over the top.
Licking their lips. Foul on Turnbull by Raskin. Both players scramble to their feet quickly. Turnbull doesn't see the advantage to take the free kick quickly, so plonks the ball down on the turf and walks away from it.
We're just on a wee look at the BBC website, and someone from BBC Scotland, one of our pundits there, has said that he feels Lagerbielke actually kicked Dessers in that situation, which is not dissimilar from what I'm suggesting, which is putting his body in that position in the way. But you know what? If you've got green and white eyes, you're seeing it one way. If you've got blue and white, you're seeing it the other.
Yep, that's the way this derby works. That's the way all the derbies work. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Throw in for Rangers in the shade of the main stand that we sit in here. And the ball is played back to Goldson. Not enough on it. Maida comes sliding and wins the ball. Then his momentum takes him on into Tavernier. He catches Tavernier. Both players are down hurt. It's a free kick. The Rangers fans, you can see in that corner, are complaining about the challenge. Maida did get to the ball, but he is such a 100%er, isn't he? Everything is at full speed. The momentum's just taken him through and caught Tavernier.
Well, the referee's trying to calm it down over there, but remember, you must be in control.
Yeah.
When you make a tackle there, and there is no doubt in my mind, Maida's going for the ball. Actually, may well have got the ball. It's a long way away from us. He may well have got the ball as well. Not too many of the players, it has to say, are complaining about it. I think they actually believe that is the case there. And even the Rangers fans, I have to say, I think they would be more upset about it.
Yeah.
They seem to be accepting it quite well.
Very sportingly, Kyogo's over there, hauls Tavernier to his feet. It's a talking to for Maida, and the Rangers fans not taking it all that well now that he's not been given a yellow card.
I think they expected a yellow card, and I think in many another game it may well have been a yellow card, because we've seen very, very light fouls been given as a yellow card. The referee has given it as a foul there. But in the Old Firm games, if you get the cards out early, that's a difficult position you can put yourself into. Do you know what? We've just seen it in a replay there. He has dived in. He has got his studs up. I don't think his studs have caught Tavernier.
No, his legs actually go through Tavernier's legs, and it's his body that knocks Tavernier off his feet, isn't it? Here's Tavernier anyway. 4 Rangers on the right, cross deflected, awkward one. Scales volleys it away at the near post for Celtic. Taylor under pressure from Cantwell, wins it for Rangers. Chip ball into the box, and Hart catches it very cleanly and easily at the near post. Runs to the edge of the box. Oh, what a ball that is from Joe Hart. Volleys it away. Goldson's got it covered. Knocks it into the stands, throwing for Celtic on the halfway line.
You've got to applaud Joe Hart just now. His positional play has been exceptional in this game. Not just for the crosses, and he looks very, very comfortable when he's coming for crosses. He's not really had to save a great deal just now. However, he has to play as a sweeper, and so far, and underline that, so far he's got everyone on right.
Experienced English goalkeepers at either end who would have been in England squads together. Joe Hart 36 away to the left, and Jack Butland, the new Rangers keeper this season at the age of 30, away to our right. I was listening to Pat actually last week. Some atmosphere at St James's Park for Newcastle, Liverpool. Pat, you're here today, and then I know you're also part of the commentary team a week on Tuesday at Hampden Park for Scotland, England.
I can't hear you, I've got earplugs in. It's absolutely incredible the noise you get all these fixtures.
Yeah.
We'll do a decibel check afterwards and see which one was the loudest.
3 noisy ones for Pat. So that is a week on Tuesday, the heritage match marking 150 years of the Scotland-England fixture. The first one played 150 years ago at the West of Scotland Cricket Club, I believe, ended 0-0. Taylor's ball to O'Reilly's cut back into the box. Goldson's there, sticks a right boot out. He's made some important interceptions in that penalty area in this first half, and away it goes for a throw-in to Celtic.
And that's one of the first opportunities that one of the O'Reilly or Turnbull have got into the positions that they're so good at. They haven't been able to do it so far, but that time O'Reilly got to the bad line but couldn't find his striker.
Celtic knocking the ball around just inside the Rangers half. Johnston to McGregor. So the brilliant chance for Kyogo, he was denied by a combination of Butland and Tavernier, and the disallowed goal for Rangers for the trip on Lager Bielka by Dessers before he teed Roof up to stick the ball in the back of the net. There's McGregor to Turnbull, still inside the Rangers half. The ball bounces up over Greg Taylor's head. Roof is there, he's tackled by Turnbull, and that's a throw in for Rangers on the right.
I would add another Kyogo chance as well, the one in the near post where he tried to do a little cute back heel flick, and when those work, they are absolutely brilliant. They look beautiful. When they don't, less so.
Long ball into the Celtic half again. Lager Bielka battling with Roof. Roof down on the floor, just throws his arms out and says, how is that not a foul? Don Robertson had a good look at it, allows play to continue. Rangers fans not happy, as you can hear. Here's O'Reilly. O'Reilly didn't feel the pass out to Abada on the right was on, and both of them sort of chunter away at each other. High ball to the left to Maida. Tavernier wins that battle in the air and nods it away for a Celtic throw. 6 minutes remaining in what's been a tub-thumping first half. Still Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
You wonder how much time Roof got in his legs. I mean, he has chased everything. He's frightening the living daylights out of those central defenders of Celtic, but you know, he's been out for a while, not 100%, but what you did mention earlier on, Rangers have got good cover to come in as centre forward, so I think he's been asked to give absolutely everything he's got. Might last 60 minutes, but at least Rangers have got others to bring in.
Goal kick for Rangers. Michael Beale just trying to make some minor adjustments, having a word with Kemar Roofe, speaking to Matondo as well. Butland waves the centre-backs away, so this time they're not going to play short. Butland's going to knock it downfield. Standing on his goal line, couple of paces back. And he gives it a big hoof. Away down the right. Header won by Roofe. Ball almost comes back to him from the clearance. Scales is able to chip it away to the halfway line. Headed forward by Goldson, flicked on by Jack. Here's Scales again. Closed down by Dessers. Pass down the left for Maida to chase. Goldson has to get there first for Rangers and does, just in time. Turns, plays it to Tavernier down the line. Uses Raskin to come back to Goldson. Goldson floats the ball down the right-hand touchline. Taylor leaps to head it away, only as far as Tavernier. Tavernier infield to Cantwell, lays it off into midfield, forward to Roofe. Nice turn from Roofe in the centre circle. Bit of space for Rangers to work with down the left-hand side. Matondo released by Sterling, has the beating of Johnston. Now, did Johnston hold him back there? That's what the Rangers fans think. Again, Don Robertson not interested. The ball is passed out of play, and it'll be a Rangers throw on the left. Yeah,
I mean, the build-up to that was brilliant for Rangers. I think that's Rangers' best piece of play of the game so far. Played it out the back. Celtic tried very hard to close them down, but really neat, tidy passing play. Gave an opportunity for Matondo to go to the left-hand side there. It might have been a little bit of a push. One of those ones difficult for the referee.
4 minutes remaining in the first half, plus added time. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. Rangers attacking at the moment. Matondo again finds a lot of space on the left, takes one touch down by the byline. Here's the cutback looking for Cantwell. O'Reilly's there. Cantwell tries to take it off him. O'Reilly turns away from him. Curling pass, nearly miscontrolled by Jack, but Jack recovers and passes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Jack Butland.
Sums up this game, doesn't it? You know, you get Sterling and Matondo go down the left-hand side and you thought this is dangerous. 2 seconds later, Abada's almost away, almost hammering in the goal, and it has been like that for the past 40 odd minutes.
Ryan Jack in between his two centre-backs, so this is deep inside the Rangers half. Goldson up to Tavernier. Jack with a clever little chip over the top of Greg Taylor's foot. Space opening up on the left for Sterling if they could find him. They look for Cantwell, and O'Reilly is in with the interception, and suddenly Celtic could make something of it. McGregor's diagonal ball to Abada, wanted to chest that down, could only head it down. That gives Sterling a chance to get onto it for Rangers, and here come Rangers from deep inside their own half. Suter lets Jack take over. Sterling totally unmarked to his left. Plays to Raskin in midfield. Sterling is still waiting there on the touchline on the left, but Rangers not interested in using him.
I think there's some frustration from the Rangers fans because they see the switch ball on time and time again, be it right or left.
Here's another ball in behind the Celtic defence. Stretching effort from Lager. Bielka, Joe Hart's out there, gets a touch. Hart's out of position. Matondo hits it over the bar. Needed to be cute and clever and very exact with that, and couldn't keep the ball down. It goes behind for the Celtic goal kick.
You will have noted before I said Joe Hart hasn't made any mistakes so far. I'm not sure about that one. I don't think he gets that one right. He's come out a long way. His defenders are there. They should be coping with it as well outside the 18-yard line, but he's not got a strong enough touch on it, and it has to be said, he should have done better with that. Yeah. Matondo, wasn't it, with his left foot there? Got to get that on target from there.
0-0 it remains. 2 minutes plus added time left in this first half, but there's been plenty of incident if you are just tuning into 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Full commentary on Liverpool Aston Villa at 2, Arsenal Manchester United at 4:30. Rangers trying to win it off Celtic inside the Celtic half. Abada wins the throw in for Celtic. Football Daily podcast available via the BBC Sounds app. Make sure you subscribe to that one. All the best reaction, debate, analysis after a day's football like today. And of course the Rugby Union Daily it becomes from tomorrow in the build-up to the Rugby World Cup. Extensive coverage across the BBC radio network. Every game on a combination of 5 Live, BBC Sound, Sports Extra, the website and app. And from 9 o'clock tomorrow night after the Monday Night Club, Chris Jones in France with the panel looking ahead to the Rugby World Cup, which starts on Friday with the host France against New Zealand. Full commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. O'Reilly heads the ball forward. Turnbull battles for it. Breaks to Matondo on the halfway line. Plays back to Sterling. Sterling delays the clearance. Rolls it back to Suter. Suter across to Goldson. Goldson under no pressure, just side foots one to Tavernier. Last minute of the first half. Back it comes to Butland. Butland forward to Suter, right on the edge of his own penalty area. And across to Goldson again. So things just slowing down for a moment or two. How much added time are we going to get at the end of this first half? Because we certainly had a bit of time while Don Robertson was sent over to the monitor to check on the goal that Rangers thought they'd scored. Longer ball again from Suter. Campbell will chase. Scales wins the first header, but it will drop to Dessers. Side puts the volley here to Matondo. Looking for Dessers again. Touch. Trying to bundle his way past Scales and Lagerbielke. Down to the byline with the cut back. Lagerbielke with the block. Corner for Rangers. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, you said it slowed down a wee bit. It slowed down to a sprint. They're all going at it constantly there, and there's a real belief in this Rangers front line, be it Dessers or be it Roof, that they can get through the two defenders. They're hanging on at the moment, Celtic, but it does feel as if it's slight fingertips in that central defensive position.
Corner for Rangers. 2 minutes of added time at the end of a thrilling first half. You just knew it would be. Both teams desperate for the win to try and really get the season motoring against their biggest rivals. Tavernier, deep delivery to the far post, nodded down and wide by Roof, and that will be a Celtic goal kick.
Yep, not that many corners Rangers have got, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they've had at least 50% of this game, at least 50. There's not much in it. It's hard to say like who is the better team. It has been evenly matched, and you know, for a wee while now it hasn't been evenly matched between the two teams. But if you're looking at this as some sort of, so far in this game, there's some sort of pointer for the season. This could be a tight one. This could be a very tight one this season. Rangers
won the last derby, of course, but that was after Celtic had already clinched the title. That was here at Ibrox in May. Celtic unbeaten in 5 of the other 6. Kyogo! What a goal with the right foot, and the flag stays down, and Ibrox falls totally silent, and then you hear the complaints. Rangers fans thinking Kyogo may have been offside, but what a finish from the Japanese international. Out of nothing, the ball headed towards him, it bounced once, he's right-footed into the bottom corner, and it's Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Well, it feels weird because a goal was scored and it goes quiet, and you almost feel as if there's something wrong. Well, there is something wrong. Rangers seem to have been done. They're switched off. They had a corner seconds before. This was not a complicated piece of work that Celtic did. They played it up the field. And this is the high line again. Kyogo is running behind. The referee has no problem with that whatsoever. He has two chances already, but as I said before, Kyogo never stops. He took it very early, didn't he? But lashed it into that far corner from about 17, 18 yards.
Stunning blow from Celtic. The ball was headed forward by O'Reilly. Rangers defence flat-footed, and as you say, quick as a flash, Kyogo onto it, and as soon as he hit it, Pat, you knew where it was headed. Well,
the confidence of the player, because real good strikers know that they're going to get chances. They're going to miss some of them. They have to keep on doing it. They have to believe in themselves. I think most strikers, even so, having had 2 chances so far, would have taken a couple of touches, got a little bit closer to the goalkeeper, but they didn't get any closer. There was a Celtic player offside, but it wasn't Kyogo.
John Suter was the last defender. Kyogo was well behind him and has taken his chance brilliantly. Stunning blow struck by Celtic late in the first half here at Ibrox. The Celtic lead by 1-0. The offside flag goes up against Matondo, and that is the last action of the first half here at Ibrox. Boos and jeers from the Rangers fans, I think mainly against the officials. A goal disallowed for them when Lagerbielke was challenged before Rangers went on to score. That was overturned after the video assistant referee sent Don Robertson to the screen, and then Rangers, Pat, crucially, just switched off right at the end of the first half, and you can't leave Kyogo space like that.
A complete nothing ball, and Kyogo, as I say, he keeps on making the runs, had little involvement in the play apart from these 3 chances, getting into the right areas there. Now the officials, as you can probably hear in the background, are getting hammered, and it isn't about the offside there. If they think it's offside, it's not that. It's about the goal that's disallowed, and well, we get that goal right at the end, and as you hand back to Steve, see that line you had ready for me? I've jinxed it. No, I haven't.
I was about to ask you, Pat, about how much the Celtic high line was benefiting Rangers, and then bang, sucker punch.
Exactly. There's a lot of similarities between the two teams here in the way that they play. But Celtic haven't got that ball in behind often enough. They've got players that can go in there. Obviously Kyogo, but I mentioned O'Reilly and Turnbull, they like it as well to go in behind if they possibly can, as Maeda's very, very quick, and we know that Tavernier's high up the field. But it's happening at both sides because both sides want to squeeze, both sides want to play a high line, and it's why it's a frantic, fast-paced game. But let me underline now, there's good quality there as well. Sometimes in the past you go to Celtic Rangers games, Rangers Celtic games, and there's a limited amount of quality. There's good quality play under that sort of pressure as well, and Celtic, well, they had that chance there. They probably had the better chances over the piece, but Rangers fans, they cannot believe it because they played well, they made their own chances, and they didn't get that goal, and we'll be talking about that for a long time.
Pat, Ali, thank you very much for the time being. One of the strangest sounds in sport, an away goal in a derby in front of no away fans. What a finish from Kyogo Furuhashi. We've got loads to get through before second half commentary of the Old Firm derby from Ibrox. We'll hear from Jurgen Klopp ahead of full commentary at 2 of Liverpool versus Aston Villa. We'll be at the US Open in Flushing Meadows. There's cricket and golf on the way as well. After the news on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. The Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, says the government will do what it takes to make schools safe following concerns about crumbling concrete. More than 100 in England have been told to close classrooms over fears that they could collapse. Labour says the government need to move quickly to publish a list of affected schools. The Children's Commissioner for England is Dame Rachel D'Souza.
We're now in this mess and we need safety for absolutely every child. Particularly, I'm concerned about the most vulnerable, children in special schools, children who are looked after children, and making sure they're communicated with and that they can start school. We've learnt from the COVID pandemic, the worst thing we did was keep children away from school. We need children to be in school.
Staff at Tesco will be offered body cams after a rise in violent attacks. The supermarket chain says physical assaults have increased by a third since last year. Similar action has previously been taken by Waitrose and at the Co-op. At least one person has died at the Burning Man Festival in Nevada following torrential rain. Tens of thousands of people attending the event are stranded after the bad weather turned the ground into deep, slippery mud. With more rain forecast, people are being told to conserve food and water. 872 people were found trying to cross the channel in small boats yesterday. That's the highest daily figure so far this year. The migrants were found on 15 different boats. And India's space agency has switched off its moon rover after it completed its 2-week assignment conducting experiments. The craft, which is the first to reach the lunar South Pole, has been put into sleep mode.
The Monza Circuit, 3.6 miles in length, 11 turns. F1.
The reigning champion rounds the final corner and he crosses the line to win the Dutch Grand Prix. It's Max Verstappen who equals Sebastian Vettel's record in Formula One.
Next, live race commentary from the Italian Grand Prix later this afternoon from 2 on the BBC Sport website.
Did it make it easy for us today, the weather? Taking every moment of this in lap. I'm sure they're going to serenade you all the way around.
F1.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
On the BBC Sport website, then, you can go to Monza at 2 o'clock for the Italian Grand Prix. England versus New Zealand in the men's third T20s on 5 Sports Extra from 2:15. We'll be at the US Open shortly. The Super League action as well this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Full commentary on 5 Live of Liverpool against Aston Villa. Liverpool, as Jurgen Klopp explains, in a state of flux.
We had to replace and to change the most successful midfield in the younger history of this club. So we pretty much have to reinvent the team. The midfield is now already and will be completely new. Over the last few years, we had to do the same with our front line. The most stable area is obviously the last line, but now not because of the injuries and the suspensions. But that's how it is, and I know people expect it to be different, but it's how it is. And so I really think we did good business. The players we brought in are really good. They'll help the team. We'll even get better. For Endo, it's a massive step, massive change in the way he used to play and the way we play. So that needs obviously a bit of time to get there, but it's no problem. I really like the team. Not to say I love the team. When I look at it before we start a game, and you look at the lineup, and you look at the option on the bench where the last week's now a bit young, but even that is great. Yes, we got younger, but we had to. We are less experienced, but that's normal. But we are full of desire, and that's I love this team.
That's Jurgen Klopp. Leon Osman is one half of our commentary team at Anfield. Afternoon, Leon.
Good afternoon, Steve.
So we're not going to see Ryan Gravenberch, the new signing. We are going to see Mo Salah, and even if Gravenberch was playing, everyone would be looking at the Egyptian, wouldn't they?
I think everyone always looks at the Egyptian.
Yes.
He's that type of player. He's exciting. He's got the pace. He knows where the goal is, and Liverpool rely on him and his goals. So I'm certainly delighted he's still at the football club, and they'll hope he has a wonderful season.
But he can only have a wonderful season if they don't make a £200 million bid and he goes. And Klopp's just talking about the midfield rebuild. There is more rebuilding to be done. £200 million, a lot of money. Would they be able to turn that down?
It's very difficult for a player that is, the wrong side of 30 as far as footballing careers are concerned, and as well a player that, it would eclipse the fee they paid for him. They would have had the best years out of him with regards to his footballing career, and you're going to make a bonus of the money income off it as well. So it'd be a difficult business wise thing to turn down, but can you take them goals out of the football team? Can you survive? Can you have the successful season Liverpool are hoping to have without him in your team? I think that Jurgen Klopp would say no.
Ian Dennis was mentioning earlier that, Aston Villa, lots of excitement about them. They went to Newcastle on the opening day and got absolutely hammered. This does feel important to them to get a sense of where they actually are, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there were mitigating circumstances on the opening day of the season. Losing Tyrone Mings, who's such an influence defensively, the game was quite well balanced at that point when he had to go off. So, Newcastle, the team that could certainly take advantage in their moments. But since then, they've won all four, two of them in the Europa Conference qualifying, but only conceded that one goal to Burnley. So they're a team that's developing. They're a team that defensively are usually solid. They've got an awful lot of quality in their team as well. And they came here to Anfield at the end of last season and went away with a 1-1 draw and could have won that game. Had a penalty miss on the day as well. So I think they'll fancy the chances to come and put a performance on here.
Cheers, Leon. Leon Osman, he'll be with Ian Dennis for commentary of Liverpool versus Aston Villa at 2. As soon as we're done with the Old Firm derby, second half commentary on the way. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Also at 2 o'clock, we will keep you up to date with Crystal Palace against Wolves. Palace busy on deadline day. Signed Rob Holding, held on to Eberechi Eze and Michael Olise. Wolves, though, lost Mateus Nunes to Manchester City. Sahel Sahi is at this one. A boost to get Tommy Doyle in, Sahel, but outweighed by the loss?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. We're just a couple of minutes away from team news, so I can't give you the team news at the moment, Steve, but I do agree with you there. Both Crystal Palace and Wolves, by the way, they'll be looking to head into this international break with some positive momentum. Crystal Palace, they grabbed a point last time out against Brentford, and after losing to Arsenal here at Selhurst Park, they'll go in search of a first home win. While Wolves, they come into today's game with an important 3 points behind them at Goodison Park. One bit of team news which was almost guaranteed by Roy Hodgson, Steve. In his pre-match press conference, he confirmed Sam Johnston will start in goals despite the arrival of Dean Henderson.
Sahil, thank you very much. Now, the 4 Brits playing in the singles yesterday at the US Open Tennis. Only one's through to the round of 16. Cam Norrie and Dan Evans are out. Tennis correspondent Russell Fuller and Annabelle Croft are in New York.
So it turned out to be a slightly disappointing day in New York for the British players, and I can reflect now with Annabelle Croft on the one that got away for Katie Boulter. She was clearly second best there against Peyton Stearns, who doesn't have her experience, and she just missed too often, didn't she? And her serve let her down as well.
Yeah, it wasn't one of her better performances, but it was a match where she was up against somebody who she'd had a very close contest with before, 7-6 in the final set, 3 tie-break sets, and played a similar game, actually, a real ball basher. You certainly didn't want to buy the balls after this match because they were belting it out there. I think the crowd may have had a bit of an impact. I think, it's like Katie playing in Wimbledon, you can have a lot of support there, and it felt like the Americans were kind of cheering for Peyton, and it was getting a bit edgy actually as she was trying to close out the match.
6-4, 6-3. Peyton Stearns through to the fourth round. We can, though, now hear from the one British player who has made the fourth round of the singles for the first time in his career, and that's Jack Draper, who will play Andrei Rublev next. That after beating Michael Mmoh in 4 sets, a year on from retiring from a match against Karen Khachanov with a groin injury on the same court in the same round. Since then, it's been Draper's shoulder that has been causing him problems, but he was delighted not just to cope with the match physically, but also win a match over 4 sets for the first time in his career.
I trust in the work that I've done. You know, like sometimes it's tough to see it on a daily basis, but even though I haven't competed probably as much as I did last year, you know, I remember those moments, what I felt, and you know, I'm in a much better place mentally and physically this year.
Did it come back to you when you walked out? Same round, same court?
Yeah, in the first game I was thinking, you know, this place looks familiar, you know. I was in 3rd round on the same court against Khachanov last year, and he's obviously a great player, and you know, Mo's tough as well, so yeah, it kind of was a bit weird playing on the same court in the same round.
So can he trouble Rublev with so little tennis under his belt over the last 3 months and up against a man who's reached 8 Grand Slam quarterfinals?
Well, it's clearly going to be tough, and he's up against somebody who's vastly more experienced and is as hungry as he is. But, you know, Andrei Rublev hits the ball a ton from the back of the court. It'll be rifling ground strokes, low over the net, deep to the baseline. And it may be more difficult for Jack Draper to play that kind of aggressive style where he loves to get to the net and finish points up there with the volleys. But, you know, I always think with Jack Draper, you know, he strikes the ball so beautifully. He's got a big lefty serve. OK, he said he hasn't always served at top pelt because of that shoulder injury, but you know, the forehand strike is very dangerous as well, so he has weapons. He can definitely trouble Rublev.
Thank you, Annabelle. Our coverage continues, starting on the BBC Sport website and app at 5 o'clock, and then switching to BBC Sounds and Sports Extra. And the star attraction, no doubt about it, it's Coco Gauff against Caroline Wozniacki.
Thank you to Russell and the team. 5 Sports Extra from 2:30 is the 3rd men's international T20 between England and New Zealand. Henry Moran.
Sun shining here at Edgbaston. England with an unassailable 2-0 lead in this series. They've been absolutely outstanding so far. They've won both matches very comfortably at Durham and then Manchester. We expect perhaps there'll be some more changes as England look to try and form up what they want for the World Cup, albeit a different format come October. They have been so strong so far. I think we can expect more of the same today.
It's also the final day of the Walker Cup, the top amateur golfers of Great Britain and Ireland versus America. Correspondent Ian Carter is watching at St Andrews.
An American fight back this morning in the foursomes, winning the session 3-1. It means going into the final session of 10 singles, GB and I lead 8.5 to 7.5, so all to play for as both sides strive for that magic number of 13.5 points. Also today, final day of European qualifying for the Ryder Cup. Matt Fitzpatrick and Bob McIntyre in pole position there. 6 wildcard picks announced by captain Luke Donald tomorrow afternoon.
The team news is in at Anfield ahead of Liverpool versus Aston Villa in full from 2 o'clock. Ian Dennis.
Liverpool make 3 changes, Steve, from that Newcastle victory. Of course, Van Dijk is suspended. He's replaced in defence by Gomez. Nunez, who got those dramatic 2 goals, replaces Gakpo. That's his first start of the season. And the third change is Jones for Endo in the midfield. As for Aston Villa, from the side that played Burnley, just the one alteration. It's in goal. Emi Martinez replaces Olsen after coming back from a calf injury that has seen him miss the last 2 games.
Thanks, Ian. Ian will be with Leon Osmond for commentary from 2. You will get a choice of listening then with us on 5 Live. You'll be able to hear on the BBC Sport website full commentary of the Italian Grand Prix from Monza on 5 Sports Extra. You'll be able to get the cricket. But here for now on 5 Live, all focus on the football and the Old Firm derby, the second half from Ibrox, Rangers and Celtic with Pat Nevin and Ali Bruceport.
Thank you, Steve. You still find us deep in debate, Pat Nevin and I, about the Rangers disallowed goal before Celtic took the lead just before half-time. Pat, I'm watching replay after replay. I can quite clearly see what has happened now. It's quite clear on the replays, and obviously that is what Don Robertson, the referee, would have seen when he got sent to the screen. Lager Bielka kicks Dessers, doesn't he? He kicks Dessers, and that takes Lager Bielka down, but it's Lager Bielka's foul on Dessers. Dessers just keeps running. He does what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, if you look at it from a defensive point of view, your defenders, I'm just trying to run in a straight line, and I should be in control of the ball. I've actually got right away here. So if you're green and white eyes, you're thinking, yeah, it's a foul. But if you blew him away and Dessel just runs directly towards the ball, and he gets entangled, but he keeps on going. And as simple as the terms, I don't think you'll get a Rangers Celtic fan that will agree with this tonight, so good luck in 606. The one thing I would say on top of it, Celtic got lucky. A lot of referees would look at that and say, no, that's fine, that's a coming together and get on with it.
Well, Celtic lead Rangers by 1-0. Scottish Premiership table as it stands, if Celtic win the game, they will go to 10 points. They'll be 2 points ahead of St Mirren. Motherwell on 7 points. Rangers and Ross County on 6. Motherwell away to Hearts in a 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon, so that will get underway in just less than a couple of hours' time. The two teams are back out. Celtic, green and white hoops, white shorts, and the white socks with the green bands around them, defending the goal away to our right in front of the Copland stand. No Celtic fans inside the stadium, which is why the reaction to the Kyogo goal just before half-time was so bizarre, because that was just thousands of people falling instantly silent as Joe Hart plays the ball out to his left-hand side. Rangers in the blue shirts, the white shorts, and the black socks with the red tops, with it all to do. 5-1 defeat away to PSV Eindhoven in midweek, and now behind at home to Celtic, but with a full half of football to play. Dazen Maida speeding away for Celtic inside his own half, almost leaves the ball behind, goes running into Connor Goldson, falls over, no free kick. Tavernier plays it forward. Under pressure is Dessers, the centre forward. Scales trying to stick with him, follows him into the Rangers half, gets a challenge in on him, and the ball runs to Abada, but the referee decides that is a free kick for the challenge on Dessers. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, there was a tug in the jersey, and that's exactly what Dessers is saying there. Referee spotted it, let it play on, but I just hope it's the same pace in the second half. I mean, most games slow down, a bit of space comes out. Sometimes it doesn't happen with the Old Firm games, it just keeps on going. But there's a lot of big decisions to be made with the managers in this second half here, because not all these players will last at this level.
I'm going to ask you about Callum McGregor's performance in a second, Pat. He's just won the ball for Celtic, then they've lost it. Roof with a diagonal ball from right to left. It's a hopeful one. Matondo with speed goes chasing after Johnston. Johnston holds him off and plays back to Lager Bielka, who was right at the centre of the controversy around the disallowed goal. Got caught by Dessers. He was fortunate to see that decision overturned after Roof stuck the ball in the back of the net. McGregor goes skipping past Raskin. He's fouled. Cue Pat Nevin.
Yeah, cue McGregor. The whole first half, at the very little time to actually explain that there's probably only one player on the pitch who can get the ball down and hold it and control play, and it's McGregor. And it's amazing to see someone who, in that packed area with everyone charging into every single challenge, he gets time, he gets space, he controls parts of the game. No one else has come close to it. He's actually a joy to watch.
35th appearance for him in one of these derbies. 118, drawn 6, lost 10, scored 4. Was actually the last man to see a red card in the derby back at Ibrox in May 2021, when Rangers won that game by 4-1. So we've not had a red card in the last 11 iterations of this fixture. Ball is headed away by Suter. Campbell nips in to nod a bouncing ball back to Suter, clears it forward. Lager Bielka heads it away, just got a bit scrappy at the moment, a bit of to and fro, ball pinging around between the two halves. Matondo's tackled, Johnston's clearance hits Dujon Sterling, and it goes out for a throw into Rangers. So they've got Jack Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter and Sterling as a back four. Raskin and Jack, the central midfielders. Jack chosen ahead of Lundstrom for this game this afternoon. Todd Cantwell ahead of them, Dessers, Roof and Matondo as the front three. Tavernier in to win a ball for Rangers. Plays the 1-2 with Cantwell. Tavernier still moving, tries to poke it to his right to Dessers. Celtic managed to get it away. Here's Raskin though, 35 yards out in a central position, not enough on the pass. O'Reilly intercepts and Kyogo's trying to get away, but they can't find him, and Suter's able to play it back to Butland.
That's a poor ball there. I think it was Turnbull. He's got a player to his right there, Abada, on loads of space, and he tries to play an almost impossible ball to Furuhashi. Don't play that one, you've got a 3 against 2 there. That was a poor decision making there from Turnbull.
Give you the Celtic team in just a second. We've had the team news from Liverpool Villa. It's full commentary at 2 o'clock here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. John Murray and Matt Upson at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal, Manchester United at 4:30. Flicked header from Dessers, looking for Ryan Jack, who's the furthest forward there for Rangers. The ball is cleared away. Tavernier's underneath it. Heads it forward. Turnbull blocks, falls to Cantwell. O'Reilly makes the challenge. Raskin sees space on the left, but no, there was a foul on O'Reilly, so Celtic get the free kick. They've got Joe Hart in goal, Johnston, Lagerbielke, Scales and Taylor as their back four, O'Reilly, McGregor and Turnbull the midfield three, Abada and Maida either side of the goal scorer, Kyogo. Delighted to say our colleague Roddy Forsyth sitting alongside us in the commentary position once again this afternoon, rather dryly sent me a note after Kyogo scored at the end of the first half to say that the Celtic goal drought, Pat, has ended. Two games.
There was that fear from Celtic fans that they were running out of goals. It's been a long time since they didn't score in 3 games in a row.
Well, they've scored today. Might get another here. Abada on the right. Oh, Maida sliding into the far post, inches away from sticking it in the back of the net. It goes behind for a goal kick.
I mean, that's what Celtic they can do with that sort of pace they've got up front. We know Maeda's got an incredible turn of pace, but even he couldn't get onto that. The cross from Abada from the right hand side, you got to zip them across. You can't just pass them because the goalkeeper will come out and just take it. And it was millimetres away. Similarly, Roof had one of them earlier on in the game.
Dessers getting physical with McGregor. McGregor puts his body in the way. It was initially a nice touch from Dessers, but McGregor was clever. Just got himself between Dessers and the ball. Takes the free kick quickly. Played O'Reilly into trouble there, and Campbell suddenly bursting forward for Rangers, but the pass is not good enough, and O'Reilly's back to save it for Celtic. Back to Joe Hart. Delays the clearance, and then with his right foot biffs it downfield over the head of Abada, nodded forward by Sterling. Here's Johnston. Now Johnston lasted 60 minutes last weekend against St Johnstone, so we'll see how much football he's got inside him for this one. Celtic have won another free kick. Turnbull's been tripped just inside his own half.
To be fair, that trip by Sterling, every other game that's a yellow. Every single other game that's a yellow. He's done a little bit of left it in there. He's lost the ball. There's no chance he's going to get back in time. And the referee doesn't want to create any more problems for himself. And to underline, he's had a couple of very difficult decisions to make, the referee. You've got to say that. People will slaughter the referee and the officials, etc. There are a couple of difficult ones, in particular the one about Rangers.
But I think also, Pat, once you get sent to the screen, it puts pressure on you anyway, doesn't it?
It shouldn't do, because we've got used to that.
But it does.
I know, but absolutely, the whole idea of it was to get the decisions right. You go over there and make a decision you think's right. Well, he's done that. He thinks it's the right decision, and he's kind of happy with it. And he could make a very cogent argument for it. Absolutely.
Rangers have the ball inside Celtic's half on the left. Matondo tries to stand up O'Reilly, can't get past him. O'Reilly with the tackle. Socks rolled down, the young Danish international. It's been a real find for Celtic actually since joining from MK Dons January 2022. Greg Taylor running forward with the ball, sliding challenge from Roof, and that goes out for a Celtic throw.
You see McGregor in the middle there, both hands up going, why are you playing that ball? I'm here. I've managed to find my customary 20 square yards in the middle of Ibrox Park to pass it to me. Don't do that. And those moments are very frustrating for McGregor because he constantly finds himself in the right position. It is another poor decision, and maybe that's the thing that Brendan Rodgers has to work with more than anything else just now, is make the right decisions more often than that.
Joe Hart under a bit of pressure, edge of his own box, had time to find Scales. Dessers continues to chase. Scales passes it to Taylor on the left. Cantwell in, gets a touch on the ball. Throw him for Celtic. Did you, by the way, Pat, I don't know because you saw them last week, Darwin Núñez starts for Liverpool. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Well, if you come in and have the effect that he had, maybe not a surprise, but he was let off the leash, wasn't he? Against Newcastle. It was incredible. And by the way, underlined how good the manager was, Klopp, leaving it loose the last 10 or 15 minutes to make all those changes. And the players won the game, but the tactics were a big part of it, and the bravery.
Núñez, one of 3 changes for Jurgen Klopp this afternoon. He's in for Gakpo, Joe Gomez in for the suspended Virgil van Dijk. Full commentary from 2 o'clock here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And as Pat says, after this game and after Liverpool Villa, and then we've got full commentary on Arsenal Manchester United. 6:06 will be a lively one. Robbie and Chris taking the calls as always. Match of the day tonight, 10:30, BBC One. And if you miss any of the day's action, or you want to hear the interviews, the discussion post-match, Football Daily podcast available for you as always via the BBC Sounds app. That pass is beyond Abada, who made a nice run in between Suter and Sterling. Butland collects it, slings it out to Sterling on the left for Rangers. Sterling's running at O'Reilly, doesn't fancy taking him on. Ball now with Raskin just inside the Celtic half in a central position. Back he comes to the centre-back Goldson. Suter gives him a big shout. John Suter, who Didn't manage much football for Rangers last season, the Scottish international, but regular in the back line this season. Sliding challenge from Johnston on Sterling, and that'll be a throw-in for Rangers on the left. Attacking position, almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. Throw-in taken, finds Souttar. Souttar's right-footed ball down the channel. Here's Cantwell. Cantwell's cross comes bouncing back off scales, hits Cantwell. Flag was up anyway for an offside. Free kick to Celtic.
You know, the longer that that Celtic back line play together, you know, they maybe get that timing right when they're trying to play those offsides. On that occasion, they did get it right. I mean, 2 or 3 occasions they have, you know, walked up. It's been a really high line, and it was offside. But you only need to get it wrong once, and they've got it wrong 2 or 3 times in this game, and they got away with it. Start of the second half, certainly those 2 centre backs look a little bit more comfortable together. And if we get a clean sheet at the end of this game, we will be delighted.
O'Reilly for Celtic. Oh, McGregor threads a lovely pass. O'Reilly couldn't quite take it on. Souttar with the challenge. Souttar and Ryan Jack, the 2 Rangers representatives in that Scotland squad for the upcoming internationals. Callum McGregor, the Celtic player in that squad. Free kick for Rangers. Cantwell is fouled. It's just inside the Celtic half on the right. Michael Beale waves both centre backs forward, and James Tavernier gets ready to take the free kick from a way out on the right, about 10 yards in from the right hand touchline.
Worth underlining that to any Rangers fans listening, it's a long way out. You're talking about 50 yards out. He would love to get a chance at a free kick near that box.
Tavernier holds the right arm in the air. Delivery at pace into the edge of the box, headed away. Cantwell drives it on the half volley, couldn't keep it down, and the ball goes spinning behind for a Celtic goal kick.
Too excited with Cantwell. He had a little bit more time than that. He probably had time to take another chance. Touch. He certainly had enough time to let the ball come down, but he's taking it in the half volley. But that's what this game can do to you. Rangers fans having fun and games with Joe Hart. They won't give the ball back. They might as well give the ball back because their team is a goal down. Celtic taking the lead through Kyogo, scoring in added time at the end of the first half. They've given the ball away, and Raskin is here for Rangers. Looks up, looks for an option, finds Tavernier at full speed down the right, clips the ball in, stretching clearance from Scales, out for a throw into Rangers. Sloppy from Celtic, and Rangers will try and take advantage again with the throw. Cantwell leaves it for Tavernier. Tavernier throws it back here to Raskin. Raskin lets the ball bounce 2 or 3 times. Turnbull comes to close him down. Raskin turns away from him, bobbles a little pass here to Jack. Jack can only see green and white hoop shirts in front of him. Across to Raskin again, back into the Rangers half. You know, if Rangers had a player in the midfield there who could play a 67-yard ball across the park, time and again they've had players spare. Good ball from Souttar to Cantwell. Cantwell looking for Dessers, stretches, couldn't control it, continues his run into the box, runs into the Celtic defender, and again Dessers has a free kick given against him. I think it's Johnston who gets his body in the way. He just couldn't take that pass in his stride, which would have given him a sight of goal. It's tiny margins at the moment, particularly for Rangers. All played in there. It's one of those ones, if you watch Phil Foden playing with Haaland, he doesn't play it in front of him. He zips it into his feet, thinking, you can cope. You'll get the first touch and you'll take it on. In those situations, when you're right at the edge of the box, you don't actually play it through. You zip it into your feet and say, deal with that, get out of your feet and score. And the referee's got a problem here. He's coming over to they've just found something on the pitch, I think. Something maybe being thrown. Okay. From this distance, looks like a vape. Well spotted, but I was going to say a pen. But I think you're right. Free kick for Celtic. They lead Rangers by 1-0. Rangers, who lost on the opening day of this Premiership season away to Kilmarnock, but have won their last 2 games against Livingston and Ross County. Sterling takes it down the left, slide challenge from Johnston, little bit of push and shove between the two as they bump into each other. Johnston doesn't make anything of it, walks away, gets into his defensive position. Cantwell tries to spread the play quickly to the right. Tavernier brings the ball down on his right foot. Mader's right in his face there. Lays it back to Goldson. Goldson's cross in. Jack looking for the little glance header, cleared by Celtic. Abada sees Kyogo. Kyogo running into space, still has a bit to do. Into the box, angle is tight. Sits Raskin down, curling left-footed effort over the bar. Rangers goal kick. Maybe Kyogo should have done a little bit better than that. Raskin, just off the ball there. Just seeing what's happening. It's getting a little bit tasting in my head. He's been barred slightly by Tavernier there.
I think Tavernier stood his ground. Maida was hurtling across like he does to try and sort of close down, and Tavernier just stood there and he ran into him and fell over.
Neither player's complaining.
No.
Both getting on with the ball.
Sterling, through to Dessers, lays it back here, edge of the box. Little touch, clever touch from Matondo, forced wide but still inside the Celtic penalty area. Quick feet, right-footed effort, palmed away by Hart. Miscue clearance by O'Reilly.
It's offside all the way back, which you kind of knew it was going to be. Which is kind of torture because it did have quite a few plays in there.
Rangers about to make a double substitution. Half an hour to play. They're the team behind, no surprise. Attacking changes there'll be as well. Danilo, the Brazilian, signed from Feyenoord in the summer. He will come on. And Sam Lammers, the Dutchman who joined from Atalanta for £3 million this summer and has one goal to his name in the 4-0 win against Livingston. So those will be the changes for Rangers. They're coming up shortly. Celtic still leading by 1-0. Liverpool Villa, the next commentary here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Kyogo's lost the ball and then ran into the referee. Raskin plays it forward to Matondo. Matondo fouled surely by McGregor. Yeah, McGregor immediately puts his hand up, knows he's made the error, and now Rangers have the free kick in the area that you were talking about, Pat.
Yeah, they've been waiting for quite some time. Rather hilariously, I think it's Raskin gets the ball, just walks straight over to Tavernier and said, right, take it, get on with it. And it's almost dead central, isn't it? You're talking 33 to 35 yards out. Most players, do you think that's too far? Not for this man. He's well capable.
4 goals to his name this season. I noticed a very interesting little stat ahead of the game. He's on 113 career goals, which puts him one behind Steve Bruce. Now, Steve Bruce wasn't a penalty taker back in the day. Tavernier scored plenty of penalties, but that's still a very decent number.
It's incredible. He scored a goal against Ross County earlier in the season, which will be up there for the goals this season, without a shout. And it looked like a free kick, but it wasn't. He was running with the ball. Brilliant.
Can he lift the roofs off the Ibrox Stadium? He certainly will if this ends up in the back of the net. Rangers a goal behind, looking to Tavernier. Free kick in the central position. Couple of steps towards it. Curling effort wide. Didn't quite get it right. Got the dip on it, but never really tested Hart.
Yeah, he got it up and down, but it's a long way to beat a keeper of Joe Hart's quality. But he is capable of doing it. He didn't catch it right. I think Rangers fans will be hoping that was just a sighter.
Rangers win it off Celtic inside the Celtic half again. Having a good little spell in the second half at the moment. Still trailing 1-0. Lammers and Danilo waiting to come on. Can they get the cross in here from the left-hand side? Rangers fans, as you can hear, urging them to do it, and Suter does swing a high ball away to the far post. Cantwell volleys it back across the Celtic area. Turnbull with the outside of his right foot with a sort of volleyed clearance that he had to fashion. Cantwell, one touch, then a clever pass down the line, lob to Tavernier. Maida's there, makes the block, and Rangers get the corner.
It's really enjoyable watching those two play against each other. I mean, it's the entire side of the pitch, Maeda against Tavernier, and I like the fact that none of them are actually arguing and moaning about these hard tackles and these comings together. Two really good professionals having a real go at each other from start to finish.
Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Tavernier with another set piece for Rangers, this time a corner into the near post. Not a good delivery. McGregor heads it away. This will come to Sterling. Sterling side foots it to Tavernier, who might get a second chance. Clip ball, diving header from Scales, comes back here. Sterling right across the face of goal, and everyone watched it fly by. And I think the referee's got his arm in the air for a potential offside anyway.
Definite offside. The assistant referee gave it down there, so no doubt about that. But another worrying moment there for Celtic. But Rangers have mostly played in this second half, but it doesn't seem to matter to Celtic because when they break, they look so dangerous.
Right, Rabbi Matondo being replaced by Sam Lammers, like for like in the Rangers front three, and I'm guessing it'll be Roof.
Well, I mean, will kind of hurt them because Roof has been very, very good, particularly in the first half, but less effective so far in the second half. He's given everything he's got, but we shall see.
Might be me being a bit ageist there, Pat. Kemar Roof it is.
It is, no, you're absolutely right.
So at least we were correct. Rangers fans don't like it. They do not like the change. You can hear that. Boos, cheers and whistles as Kemar Roof, goal scorer against Ross County last week, comes off. Had the ball in the back of the net today. High fives his manager, shaking his head as he marches back towards the dugout. And number 99, Danilo, signed for big money in the summer, comes on for Rangers to try and turn this game around, and it looks like Ridvan Yilmaz is coming on as well, Turkish left back for Dujan Sterling. So that'll be a first appearance of the season for Yilmaz, who's been injured. So 3 changes for Rangers and a couple coming here. 3 coming for Celtic. Odin Holmes coming on, Yang is coming on, and Anthony Ralston is coming on as well. So that really mixes things up right in one
just
swoop.
Around about the hour mark, you're not absolutely surprised by it. Players are getting tired. You can see it slowed down a little bit, and that'll give a lift to both teams just when they were tiring a bit.
Right, Alistair Johnson started the season with an ankle injury, so that one makes complete sense. That's what happened last week as well. Anthony Ralston, number 56, comes on. So hold up in the game at the moment, but I guess in a way, actually, in terms of the sort of listening experience on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, let's get them all done, 6 at once, and then let's get back on with it. Leo Labada is coming off for Yang Hyun-jun, the South Korean, first season at Celtic, started against St Johnstone last weekend. Abada's taken his time to come off, probably should have gone off on the other side of the field, although that would not have been much fun, that walk.
No.
All the way around at Ibrox.
Nobody's wanting to do that.
No.
Hoop strap.
No. I'll tell you what, Pat, you mentioned this before the game as well. Don't know whether we'll see him today. Kwon, the number 22 for Celtic, who's yet to play a competitive minute for them. Another South Korean who's signed, who I know you've seen a tiny bit of him, but you quite like him.
Yeah, no real skills on the ball. He's comfortable on the ball. A little bit not unlike Matoma, beating players. I'd just seen 10-15 minutes of him, not much more than that. But you just looked at his and you think, he can play and he could be a very good player, and it may well be that Brendan's just thinking, I'll take my time and get him on when he's ready.
Game is back underway. Odin Holm, the Norwegian, the 3rd change for Celtic on for David Turnbull. So 3 changes apiece. Scoreline remains the same. Rangers 0, Celtic 1 in the game that matters most. Cross comes in towards Danilo. Lager Bielka is there, gets a foot in, and the ball goes behind for a Rangers corner. Last 10 minutes or so have been very much Rangers on the front foot and pushing Celtic back.
Yeah, but we've hardly looked to our left at all at any point in time. There was that one chance flashed across the Rangers goal, but apart from that, it's mostly one-way traffic.
Corner for Rangers away to our right. Tavernier swings it in with his right foot. High swinging deep one. Free header over the bar from Connor Goldson, who slaps his hands together in frustration that he couldn't keep it down.
That's a big miss. You've got to get that on target there. He's got a free header. It's a corner kick they've obviously worked on. The ball's played to the back post. He's got himself free. You've got to put it back to where it came from. It's a bit of a lame effort just over the crossbar.
Has scored in the derby before. I remember I was there. Scored 2 at Celtic Park in the title-winning season under Steven Gerrard, where Rangers won by 2-0. At the moment, Celtic are winning this one. Liverpool Villa, next commentary on the way here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move. Connor Goldson floated ball forward. Danilo's just being run off it here, but he's managed to get there down by the byline, turns away, tries to feed the ball back to an on-rushing teammate. That was Ryan Jack, couldn't find him. Yang is challenged in the heart of the midfield. The ball breaks nicely here for Taylor. Taylor takes it on the outside, really fizzes the ball towards Maeda. Maeda plays infield to Kyogo. Kyogo finds Holm. Holm, 25 yards out, central position, low shot, stretching save from Butland down to his left.
Livened the game up a bit, hasn't it? Those changes, sometimes the changes can ruin the flow of the game. It's had exactly the opposite effect here. A little bit of life, a little bit of spirit into the game. There was a moment before the ball was played to the back post to Danilo. He tried to take it under control. The obvious ball was a header across goal. Your mate was running in there. I do not think that Dezers can believe that ball wasn't played across him, because it could have been a tap-in.
Midway through the second half, still very much up for grabs. Rangers enjoying a good spell here, but they're behind. Danilo with his right foot playing the ball for Yilmaz to chase, just keeps it in play, drives the cross back to the edge of the area. Maeda is there to head it away for Celtic. Raskin takes the touch, plays it to his midfield partner Jack, back out to Yilmaz, left-footed cross in, too close to Joe Hart, easy take for the goalkeeper at his near post. So just over 20 minutes to play, Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
And of course the problem Rangers have got, they keep on having to throw more players forward. Both full-backs are going as often as they possibly can now, and that gives an opportunity for the likes of Kyogo, who doesn't always last the 90 minutes, to be fair. to run in behind and maybe use his pace.
Celtic are giving the ball away. Chip ball into the edge of the box. Scales with a desperate diving header. Pass comes in again. Dessers lays it back. First time shot just wide. It was a past attempt from Danilo. Just tried to hit it immediately to take Joe Hart by surprise. Couldn't get it on target.
Yeah, I actually quite like that way Danilo did this time. I don't think he got it right the first time when he should have hit it across the pitch, or hit it across the 18-yard line. But this time it comes to him. He's not got a lot of time. There's no backlift at all. He just has to redirect the pass with some pace. Not quite on target.
Lagerbielke to O'Reilly. O'Reilly flips a pass out to his right. Ralston immediately under pressure. Danilo makes the challenge. Ralston dives in, gets a foot on the ball. Celtic can't get out of their half. Here's Goldson. Goldson well forward. To his right finds Cantwell. Can Rangers seize the moment? Cantwell back to Goldson. Goldson in the inside right channel. Cantwell again, one-on-one with Taylor. Left-footed, low ball into the box. Scales gets a little nudge, holds strong, still a chance here. Lammers had a swing and a miss. Tavernier's cutback cleared away by O'Reilly. The ball goes high up in the air. Taylor's touch, not a good one. Goldson in, can't control it. Taylor under pressure here, is caught. No, flag stays down. Goldson's first time cross towards the far post, diving header behind for a Rangers corner.
Yep, and I think one of the Celtic players has just gone down injured. I mean, you can't see him. Yeah, Ralston the far side there. Joe Hart's gone running after him. No time to lie about there, mate. You've got to get up. Doesn't matter how much you're hurt. You got a corner against you, and Celtic are under severe pressure at the moment.
I think that might have been Ralston with the diving header, wasn't it? In the right back position, then went flying off the pitch. But as Pat says, back to your feet, sunshine. Got to get on with it. Celtic leading 1-0. Defending the corner. Cantwell delivers it in, flicked on at the near post, over the bar and behind for a goal kick. There might be a change at left back coming. I think Bernabei's getting prepared for Celtic.
Yeah, and there was a real push down the right hand side. Cantwell's moved over here to the right, so he's trying to get an understanding with Tavernier. Both players that are really clever, intelligent, can work together. And then energy levels with Cantwell don't seem to dip much, do they? He just keeps on going and going. Celtic will be very happy with this goal kick to get the ball up over the halfway line for the first time in a while.
Well, here we go. Maida jumps to try and win the header. Tavernier beats him in the air. Scales throws himself at it. How do you feel the two Celtic centre-backs have done today, Pat?
Do you know what? Start of the game looked really shaky. They get caught time and time again over the back. But they've not played with each other much. And of course, this is a big call for it. Second half looked much stronger.
Tavernier looking for that ball over the top. Lagerbielke backpedaling, heads it away. Might fall to Ryan Jack. Rangers fans expect him. Jack hits it with his left foot, and the ball goes spinning behind for another corner. The pressure continues from the home team. Rangers 0, Celtic 1.
Again, the overlap there on the left-hand side. Jack wants to take the shot, and you can see the headlines there if he actually gets that one on target. But the overlap pass ball in was the right one to play. Didn't play it. Chance missed for Yilmaz.
Right, this corner's going to be taken by Cantwell. Tavernier lurks deep, unmarked outside the penalty area, and he's going to start to make a run. Cantwell's delivery with the right foot. Headed away beyond Tavernier. Tavernier goes chasing back, but Yang of Celtic will beat him to the ball. Tavernier shoves him in the back. No free kick given. Curled in, cross into the far post. Goes behind for yet another Rangers corner.
Just a moment there, but Yang went down looking for a free kick. Can't do that now. You can't do that at a point in time, because if the referee doesn't get it, you're completely and utterly out of the play. Tough one for Yang. Not played many of these games.
Campbell with the corner in from the left. Scales wins the header, can only nod it straight up in the air. The ball drops down inside the Celtic box. Now the counter-attack is on. The ball is at the feet of Maida. Campbell is chasing back, slides in on him, didn't get the ball, got the man. First yellow card of the derby. Todd Campbell goes in the book. Had to make the challenge.
Yeah, he had to. I mean, whether he gets the ball, the man, anything, doesn't matter. That has to be stopped. Maida's got incredible pace there. He's running at full blast. He's got Furuhashi ahead of him as well. Every single nightmare for Rangers was on there, so he just took him out of the plate.
So Bernabei comes on for Taylor. We were talking about the battle, actually, Pat, that you've really enjoyed between Tavernier as Rangers right back and Days and Maida. I was just thinking with Maida, every time you watch him, if you wanted to encourage a kid who played in that position and teach them about the hard work needed to play in that position successfully, he is a superb role model, isn't he, mate?
And he's one of those players. He will run and run and run and run until the gasket goes. Nothing, and he's just gone then. And I think Brendan Rodgers seems to understand that now, because he's kept him on and he's because if you've not got a player in there that's doing that, then Camp will run away from you.
Oh, they've almost given it away. Rangers, and Butland's off his line sharp. Kyogo saw the opportunity. Butland slices the clearance away. Throw in for Celtic, 2 balls on the pitch. Mader's not bothered, wants to continue. Campbell sensibly clears the ball, and then there's a foul actually. The foul is made by Holm on Raskin, free kick Rangers.
Can't believe Celtic played that so quickly. Get the team a chance to get up, level with you, push forward a wee bit. And the other side of it, do they want to get pushed forward because they get caught over the back a couple of times in the first half?
A couple more attacking changes coming for Rangers with just over 15 minutes to play in the game. Trailing Celtic 1-0. Abdallah Seema on loan from Brighton's coming on. Tom Lawrence, Welsh international, will be coming on as well. Made a great start to last season for Rangers, then picked up a knee injury and we didn't see him for the rest of the season. Back playing his football again and does possess a goal threat, as Rangers fans know. Campbell to Raskin. Back to Goldson. Goldson spins inside his own half. Hopeful ball down the right. Tavernier chases. Bernabei at the moment has it covered. 2 Rangers men on him. Just flicks the clearance away. Not much on it. Lammers is there first for Rangers. Plays it to Raskin. 25 yards out. Little clip ball with his left foot. Chance for Lammers. Round hard. Oh, he stuck it in the side netting. Got round the goalkeeper and then couldn't finish the job.
He seemed to have done everything right. A beautiful little reverse pass there, going across left hand on the right hand side there. Sees the goalkeeper coming. Of course, Joe Hart's going to cover all the angles there, so he has to take it round, but he's not quite quick enough feet to get it back on. And by the time he hits it, there's too much on an angle and hits the side netting.
It's exactly right, Pat, as you say, and you'll well know, having done it plenty of times yourself. It's that touch with the left foot immediately needs to be followed by the one with the right. He just couldn't get the right-footed touch quick enough, could he?
Yeah, you need to be sharp to do that one, but no, a good bit of play there, a little bit unlucky.
Right, Jack off to be replaced by Tom Lawrence. Dessa's off to be replaced by Seema. And is coming on for Celtic, another one of the South Koreans, Oh Hyun-gyu, the striker, who wears number 19, and he will replace Kyogo up front for Celtic. 15 minutes to play, 5 live and BBC Sounds live at Ibrox. Next stop Anfield, full commentary on Liverpool Villa, and then it's the Emirates Stadium at 4:30 for Arsenal against Manchester United, with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage taking the calls tonight on 6:06. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Club with Mark Chapman as always, from 7 through until 9, and then Chris Jones over in Paris with the rugby union team looking ahead to the start of the World Cup next Friday. Here comes Celtic down the left. Mader's cross looks overhit with his left foot. It stays in play and spins out for a throw in Rangers' left back position.
It's one of the slight downsides of lightning rapid players. When they're at full pelt down the left hand side or the right hand side, what you do is you slow down before you cross. You don't cross when you're going at 100 miles an hour. That's why that one was lashed far too high and far too long by Maeda. Having said that, he's got himself in a great position, and as we say, he has not stopped running all day.
Rangers throw, flicked on by Danilo. Lammers chasing, cleared by Ralston into the Rangers half. McGregor gets his foot on the ball, tries to play it forward here for O having a good old wrestle with Suter, and it comes through to Butland. So time is running out for Rangers. Tavernier under pressure from Mader. Mader's given the ball away. Danilo definitely having his shirt tugged by Scales. That's a foul. That's got to be a yellow card, free kick Rangers.
Yeah, it's quite hard to get a yellow card today in this game, isn't it? But I don't think the referee or the assistant referee could argue with that. To some degree with Scales, I think he was quite happy because he was done for pace there. He was never getting back on that right hand side.
Cantwell sees an opportunity to spray the ball out to the left, but just put a bit too much fade on it with the outside of his right foot, and it spins away and goes behind for the goal kick. Constantly got an eye on the 2 managers here, who barely moved in the entire game in the suits. Rodgers to the left, Beale to the right, and these results always so impactful. Brendan Rodgers trying to get things going in his second spell in charge. A win in this game will do masses for him, and it heaps the pressure on Michael Beale if they lose.
It's in this city and in this country, it's incredible the difference it makes. One goal either way. I mean, had Rangers got that goal in the first half, it would change everything, but at the moment Beale's had the most important week of his time in charge of Rangers, and so far it's 2 defeats so far.
Goldson lost the ball high in the air. Celtic still with plenty of defending to do. Holm with a little backheel pass out to the left. Tries to take it down the left. He's stopped in his tracks. Header away from Lager Bielka. Ball is flicked on by Holm. Here's again. Yang making ground on the right-hand side. Yang brings the ball down on his left foot. Ralston trying to offer support. Yang goes central though, looking for the pass through to Rangers break up play. Could be an opportunity. Ball over the top. Is overhit and into the arms of Joe Hart.
I know there are here Ranger fans in the background there. They know that was on. If you can play that 60-yard pass, and I don't want to use this name too much here, but a certain Steven Gerrard or a player like that would have put it on the striker's toe. That ball was on, but the quality wasn't in there.
Front three for Rangers now for the closing period of this game. Sam Lammers, the Dutchman, wide on the left. Danilo through the middle, although those two are just changing places as I speak. And then Abdallah Sima on loan from Brighton, the Senegalese, on the right. Celtic have taken their free kick. They are trying to close this game down. Kyogo with the goal right at the end of the first half. A Joe Hart clearance that was headed away by Goldson, immediately nodded forwards by O'Reilly. It caught the Rangers defence out, and Kyogo stuck it in the back of the net. That's the difference between the two teams. Sun still shining, bright blue skies above. Flicked header in towards O'Reilly, furthest forward for Celtic. He chases the back pass. Butland, you heard the thud of boot on ball there as he cleared that up towards Danilo. Lammers thought Danilo was then going to run onto his own flick and left it. Celtic play it long down the right. Headed away by Yilmaz in the left back position. Then a real collision inside the Rangers half. Play continues. Maida making an absolute nuisance of himself again. Fouls Suter. Free kick Rangers. Suter then stops Maida, who was still running, to go and get the next one. He's still going.
It's actually incredible when you watch these games. Sometimes the referee lets it flow a little bit. The pace is extraordinary. We get 10 minutes to go. It's as quick as the first time.
Yilmaz, low ball in, laid off by Cantwell, looking for the 1-2 with Lammers. Celtic get bodies in the way. Ralston is there in the right back position. Yilmaz in front of him, slices the clearance, and it's out for a throw-in to Rangers. Into the last 10 minutes, plus added time. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. Throw-in taken. Quick 1-2s down the left. Lawrence whips the ball in, headed away by Scales, and out for a throw-in to Rangers. Tavernier hollers for the ball boy, wants it quickly, takes it quickly, throws it to Seamer, gets it back. Tavernier, little left-footed pass, not enough on that to find Cantwell. Holm intercepts, the Norwegian bringing it forward, plays it to his left. Great chance for Celtic to kill the game here. Ball played into the feet of tries to flick it on round the corner to Yang, not enough on it, straight to the goalkeeper Butland.
I knew he was trying to do that, and I think he was trying to do the right thing. Got slightly too much on it, but Celtic still looking rather dangerous and great open game.
End to end, long ball downfield, finds Cantwell. Maida shoulder to shoulder, both players go down, and Don Robertson says that will be a goal kick for Celtic.
Yeah, I think Cantwell knew what he was doing. He wasn't going to get beyond there. I think he was running slightly out of legs. Clemsy's injured. I think he is injured just now. But there was a coming together, and what will happen now is the VAR will look at it.
Looked, Pat, to the naked eye, looked shoulder to shoulder to me.
It did, but that's naked eye. We don't have to rely on the naked eye anymore. Which is one thing.
What we do have to rely on is our replay monitor catching up with the rest of the game, because it's still a minute and a half or so behind. Break in play, Cantwell receives treatment. Players come over to the side to take some fluids on board. Once we get back underway, 8 minutes to go plus added time, and you've not been able to take your eyes or ears off this one.
And it's gone past, it's lightning the way it's gone past. It's 82 minutes, it feels like that 42 minutes. I mean, Campbell's down there. I think there's certainly a tiredness. They do come together, neither player gets the ball. If there is any foul, it's certainly on Cantwell. I don't think in the penalty box that's enough for the referee to change his mind in his original decision.
We'll have one more look again. Shoulder to shoulder, Cantwell's trying to get beyond Maida. A credible defensive job again done by Maida.
He's actually been fantastic. Maybe they don't do man of the match awards, but there's a few out there, who've worked incredibly hard. But it's hard to call against Maeda. And if you've got a winger, and he's basically a winger, yeah, but he defends like the best of defenders. He chases. He is selfless. The energy levels are off the scale, and he's playing against a very, very good player in Tavernier. And if you look at the Rangers team just now, if it looks at any player who could break that Celtic defence, it's probably Tavernier. And the reason why he hasn't, that man Maeda.
Yeah. Cantwell's back on his feet, slowly making his way back to the touchline. International break on the way after this weekend. Rangers will return with a game away to St Johnstone. Celtic will be at home to Dundee, and then the European campaigns get underway. Rangers at home to Real Betis in their first game here, Thursday the 21st of September, and Celtic away to Feyenoord, and that of course takes you all the way back to a European Cup final in 1970.
And annoyingly, I was at the semi-final that year. I'm sitting beside a man who's probably at both. Actually, real difficulty for Rangers just now. All 5 subs have been used. Cantwell's down.
Yeah.
He's going to have to come on whether he's fit or not.
6 minutes to play. Liverpool Villa full commentary on the way. Goldson's ball over the top, drops down. Danilo with the touch, brings it down. Hart makes a fabulous block. Danilo was so clever, flicked it from the right foot to the left. It gave Hart time to close him down and just got his body in the way. But Rangers come again. This is Seamer on the right-hand side. Can they find a way through? Low cross comes in. Oh, Danilo scuffs it at the near post and Hart blocks it on the line.
They're going to feel really disappointed if they don't get a point out of this game, Rangers. They have utterly dominated this second half. They've played really well. They've got themselves now pretty clear-cut chances as the game has gone on. Michael Beale can't believe his team has not scored in the last couple of minutes.
Brendan Rodgers looking very anxious, desperately trying to get instructions onto the field. Couple of chances there. Joe Hart with a couple of really important saves for Celtic. Diagonal ball away to the left, finds its way to Yilmaz, on his own on the left at the moment, but he's going to take Ralston on, can't quite beat him. Ralston gets a touch, clears by the byline, has Yang in support to his right, back to Ralston, tight spot this for Celtic. They're going to play out. Here's O'Reilly floated ball down the right. Suda's got to win that for Rangers. Good battle with the centre forward O, who's now on for Celtic. Throw-in goes Rangers' way, and we're into the last 5 minutes of the 90, and pretty much all of this half, apart from a couple of counter-attacks, has been played in the Celtic half away to our right, but they're the team that lead. Tom Lawrence drives the high diagonal. It's over Bernabei's head. Tavernier cushions a little pass to Cantwell. Cantwell back to Raskin. Raskin scurrying forward. Here's Cantwell, flicks the ball straight into the body of who made her. Makes the block for Celtic. Throw in for Rangers, taken quickly. Tavernier to Cantwell, he's moving freely again. Cantwell, rangy runner with the ball, looking for the 1-2 with Lammers again. Celtic intercept. Here's O, inside his own half. Raskin makes the challenge, concedes the free kick, and Celtic still lead 1-0.
Yeah, that's really disappointing if you're a Rangers fan. I actually think it was Tom Lawrence there. He got a little bit overexcited. Didn't need to do that. He was on his own there, he had nowhere to go. There was 3 Rangers players behind him. Just giving away a free kick, giving themselves a chance to slow it down, control a bit more of the game, and of course, no surprises, McGregor's on it, taking as much time as he can.
McGregor chips it with that wonderful left foot of his. Oh, flicks it on, might be a chance for Maida, tries to take it round Butland. Butland was quick and made the block. Rangers have it with Tavernier. Tavernier gets his head up quickly, clears. McGregor's there for Celtic, heads it forward. Bernabei, the left back, chests it down. Pass from him to fellow fullback Ralston on the halfway line, wide to Yang on the right hand side. Rangers have been pushing and pushing and pushing for the equaliser in the second half. Obviously a second Celtic goal kills it completely late in the game.
Again, caught on it.
Yeah, given away by Celtic at the back. Here's Danilo, half challenge, but the ball runs to Cantwell. Cantwell with his back to the Celtic goal. Turns, gets the ball back from Lammers onto his left foot. Cantwell outside of his right foot, little touch here, edge of the box, and it goes through to Hart. Hart is able to clear away with his right. That was Seamer trying to get through for Rangers that time.
No, so I mentioned this before, when you're on the 18-yard line there, you don't play through balls, you zip into feet. Rangers are beginning to do that now. Did it there, Seamer couldn't quite control it though.
3 minutes of the 90 to play. Rangers come again. Yilmaz on the left. Low cross in this time. Lagerbielke is there and clears with his right foot. And Rangers, of course, post-match will be interesting to get the thoughts of the two managers. I'm sure Michael Beale will talk about disallowed goal first half. Lammers up high, heads it wide. Goal kick for Celtic, and Michael Beale applauds his team and tries to get them to keep on going. Joe Hart taking his time over the restart.
I mean, if the game does end out 1-0, you wouldn't be surprised if either team scored here. It would be slightly more surprising for Celtic because they're hardly getting out of their own half. But then both managers have had lots of things to be pleased with. Beale would be furious, obviously, his team's not won, but in this second half, they've dominated the play, they've pushed on and on and on, they've created chances, they've created half chances, and they have battled well. They've shown they're a team with a lot of spirit in this game.
Joe Hart, Celtic keeper, clears long with his right foot. His team leading 1-0 89th minute of this Old Firm derby. Full commentary on Liverpool, Villa and Arsenal, Manchester United to come. Hart again with the ball at his feet. First time clearance, bounces just short of the halfway line. Stretches, can't control it. Cantwell loses it. Chance for Celtic to turn and run at Rangers. Yang in space on the right hand side. The ball bounces in front of him. He keeps it in play. Yilmaz thought about the tackles. Stepped off. Still Yang twisting and turning inside the box. Yilmaz makes a challenge. Yang goes down. Yang's appealing for a penalty. Don Robertson says no for the time being. The VAR will have a look. Rangers aren't able to keep it playing out from inside their own half, and Celtic now trying to bring this game to a close. O'Reilly, little 1-2 with Maida. There is O waiting in the middle for the cross. Yang is there as well. Here's O'Reilly, quite happy to hold on to this for Celtic. Wide on the right hand side. Gets a little nudge from Raskin, and the ball has gone out for a throw into Rangers.
It's the first moment of the game that anyone's actually tried to go and kill the game a little bit, slow it down a little bit. Their eyes are on the referee. Is he going to look at that penalty claim? No, he is not.
No, he stopped play for a second there, Pat. VAR had a very quick word in his ear and then he waved play off.
Look, we're now going to have a chance between now and the end of the game, but I'd love to say just now, goalkeeping performances today, nothing flash, nothing fancy, but both have been superb.
Tavernier down the line to Seamer. Good strength from Seamer. Holds off Bernabei. Starts to run down the right-hand side. Rangers teammates screaming for the ball. Bobbly cross into the penalty area. Scales takes every care to side-foot it away. Bernabei plays up the line to Maida. 90th minute of the game. It's going to be a massive win for the man in the grey suit beneath us. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers back for his second spell at the club. Great record in the derbies.
But there should be 7 or 8 minutes, something like that. I mean, a lot of substitutions, a couple of injuries as well.
12 minutes away from kick-off in our second commentary of the day at Villa Park. That'll be Ian Dennis and Leon Osman. Good call, Pat. 7 minutes of added time starts now. Rangers trying to find the equaliser. Danilo, 50-50 ball. Ralston slides in. The ball comes off Danilo's shins, cleared away by Yilmaz, and out for a throw into Celtic, who suddenly dropped to walking pace because they're the team that are going to restart the game.
You know, if you're any of those players out there, but maybe particularly Celtic players just now, they actually look more tired at the end of the game. And considering Celtic didn't have a game during the week there, that's maybe slightly surprising, but it just shows you the levels that Rangers are at. And if you've got more of the ball, particularly in the second half, it's that wee bit easier to run when you've got the ball.
Holm, side-footed pass, first time. Here's Yang on the edge of the penalty area. Great challenge on him by Cantwell. Immediately picks himself up and tries to get Seamer away. Seamer against Scales. Scales had the head start, just gets there in time. Clears with his left foot, throw in for Rangers. We're in added time at the end of the derby. Rangers 0, Celtic 1. They've taken the throw in quickly. Lammers plays it to the edge of the box. Tavernier well forward. He's tackled. That could be trouble for Rangers. O'Reilly clears with his left foot. O will chase it. Can't keep it in play. Throw in for Rangers on the right inside their own half.
Well, just a moment there with Scales there. He had to make that last ditch tackle. And remember, he's on a yellow card already. Had he got that slightly wrong, and he almost did, he'd have been off.
Such an urgency to the game, but that's not just now. That's been the entire 90 minutes so far. Tom Lawrence making a run forward. Tavernier in such an attacking position now. Free kick has gone Celtic's way because as Lawrence was challenged, he actually committed a foul with a follow-through on McGregor.
It's a couple now Lawrence has done. I mentioned it just before. Don't give away silly free kicks. You want to keep the game buzzing, bubbling. You want to keep it going at a real pace because you know Celtic are tiring just now. You don't want to waste any time. It's a couple of needless fouls he's given away.
Celtic win would take them to 10 points, 4 points clear of Rangers with just 4 games played in the season so far. Motherwell with a win away to Hearts this afternoon could also get themselves to 10 points. St Mirren currently top of the table on 8. Joe Hart clears the free kick downfield. O flicks it on. Maida still out there running hard for Celtic. O lays it back. Holm couldn't play his pass. Seamer offering a real threat. Pace on the right hand side for Rangers. Clever pass as well. Here's Lawrence. Lawrence in the middle of the Celtic half. Tavernier gives him a shout, offers support on the right. Tavernier brings the ball infield. Players start to make their runs. Danilo from the left. He goes wider though to Yilmaz. Yilmaz bringing the ball up to the edge of the area. Right-footed, curling cross to the far post. Touch from Cantwell. Hit from Cantwell straight at Hart. Comfortable save.
Again, it's a slightly tired play there by Cantwell. Gets himself into the right area. He's run hard to get there. But Yilmaz, very impressed with him. He picks him out there at the back post. There is only one spare player in that box there. Manages to pick him out. But the quality quite wasn't there from our tiring Cantwell.
4 minutes remaining in the game. Celtic leading 1-0. Kyogo's goal just before half-time. Rangers switched off for a second, and it may well cost them all 3 points. in this game.
Maybe that's the difference between Celtic and Rangers at the moment. Kyogo gets his one opportunity from not too far away from where Campbell couldn't finish it there, but he finishes his.
Big talking point as well, of course, the Kemar Roof disallowed goal in the first half for the challenge on Lagerbielke by Dessers. Rangers still coming though. Here's Campbell. Campbell to Lawrence. Lawrence in the inside right channel, 25 yards out. Seamer on the right. Tries to go on the outside past Bernabei. Cross hits Bernabei. Stays in play. Bernabei keeps it in play. Knocks it into Lawrence. Throw in for Celtic.
The assistant referee gets one. I thought he was getting in the face there. He chested it. He should have controlled that one. It was quite calm down there, and the Rangers fans, for one of the first times in the game, apart from when they lost the goal, have gone quite quiet. They're beginning to lose belief now.
Yeah, some Rangers fans, not many, I can just see, have turned their backs and are heading up the stairs and heading for the exits as well. There is still time for their team. 3 minutes left in the game. Maiders won a free kick for Celtic just inside their own half. That'll kill another 30 seconds.
Again, the willingness to work, get his body in the way. Maida, not the tallest of men, but he keeps two players off him, uses his strength and manages to win the free kick.
McGregor takes the free kick, gives it to Holm. Great run from Maida outside on the left. Cross comes into the far post. Yang stretches, couldn't get the touch. And Jack Butland says to Rangers, right, get on that ball and get forward into the last couple of minutes of the game. Yilmaz, the substitute at left back, starts jogging his way down the left-hand side. Rangers fans baying at him to release the ball. Plays it infield to Raskin. Raskin starts running from left to right inside his own half, and Campbell's in acres of space on the right. Celtic holding on, leading 1-0. Lots of space there for Lammers. Takes the touch, hits the shot, hits it straight at Danilo. Comes back to Lammers again. Better from him this time, gives it to Seamer. Seamer's cross in, and the header from Campbell was such a difficult skill to execute at the near post. 12 yards out, it's gone wide. Goal kick Celtic.
It's just that final ball in, isn't it? They have created a couple, maybe two, maybe three chances, but there's been other occasions where Rangers have got themselves into great positions, but that real quality, that top level, through ball or finisher who put away a half a chance, just not been there today. 2
minutes to play. Brendan Rodgers turns his back on the action, purses his lips, deep breaths, and then turns and faces again. 90 seconds remaining. Celtic leading 1-0. Oh, Goldson let that go over his head and Maida very nearly got on the end of the heart clearance. Butland's out. Clears it with his right foot. Stretching header from Ralston. Danilo keeps it in play, tries to turn Ralston. Celtic have won the ball back inside their own half. Just about keeping the ball. And the challenge, that's Lawrence again, isn't it?
Again, you do not make a challenge there. There is no need to. Celtic defender is in a terrible position. He's got his back to the play. He's facing out. He's nowhere to go when you go through the back of him. I know you're excited and you want to be involved in the game, but you've just slowed the game down 3 times at important moments and given Celtic players a rest.
1 minute to go. Celtic 1 minute away from a win in the first derby of the season. Let's take you all the way back to that stat right at the start of the game. The winner of the first Old Firm game of the season has won 9 of the last 11 Premiership titles. Doesn't mean anything at all going into this season, of course, but it'd be a big blow struck by Celtic, who are now trying to play a bit of keep ball inside the Rangers half, and Celtic this time concede the foul. Free kick Rangers, last chance, 20 seconds on the clock. Butland waves everyone in a blue shirt away from him. He's going to smash it long. Rangers need to win the flick on and then hope it falls kindly. Here we go, up in the air into the bright sunshine in the Glasgow skies. Ball drops to Campbell, 30 yards from goal. Campbell takes it away to the right. We've now played the 7 minutes of added time. Great challenge on Campbell. Celtic have won it. The full-time whistle blows and the 3 points belong to Brendan Rodgers and Celtic. They go top of the Premiership table. They've won the game that matters the most. It heaps the pressure on Rangers boss Michael Beale after the Champions League exit at the hands of PSV in midweek. Kyogo's goal just before half-time settles it. Celtic win it 1-0. Pat Nevin.
They did, and they worked incredibly hard, Celtic. No one more than that man Maeda, who was phenomenal. The real quality that Kyogo gives you and has been given Celtic for a long time now was the difference. However, Rangers, particularly in that second half, I thought they played exceptionally well. They got themselves into great positions. They fought, they battled, they never gave up. A little bit of quality wasn't quite there in the end. But these teams are closer together now than they have been for quite some time.
Brendan Rodgers all smiles at Ibrox, punch in the air in delight, and now making his way out onto the field. Final score in the first derby of the season between Rangers and Celtic. Celtic take the honours. They've beaten Rangers by 1-0.
And we will bring you reaction a little bit later this afternoon. Choice of listening.